What I'm about to share may surprise you, perhaps even shock you. But let me tell you this. If you are watching this video right now, it's not by accident. The universe, guided by divine orchestration, has brought you here for a reason. God is preparing something extraordinary for you. Your life is about to change forever, and soon you will experience a level of financial freedom and abundance that you've only dreamed of. Yes, you heard that right. Money will flow to you like water, effortlessly and abundantly. This isn't just about financial gain. It's about a total transformation, spiritual, emotional, and energetic. The very breakthroughs you've been praying for, waiting for, and perhaps even doubting at times are no longer distant possibilities. They are becoming your reality right now. Before we dive into this life-changing message, I want you to pause this video and take 3 simple steps. First, hit that like button. Second, subscribe to this channel to help us reach 30,000 subscribers. Third, leave a comment with the number 99. Why? Because this number symbolizes the completion of a divine cycle, and it sends a powerful signal to the universe, amplifying the energy of this message. If you are truly one of the chosen ones, you'll watch this video until the very end, because deep down, your spirit already knows this message is meant for you. Those who are not ready to receive this truth might not make it to the end, but for those who do, your life will never be the same. Now, let's get into it. Imagine standing at the threshold of a great breakthrough. You've endured countless hardships, sacrificed more than most, and worked tirelessly to build a better future. And now, you are on the cusp of something extraordinary. Your struggles are about to transform into blessings, and your scarcity is about to be replaced by overflow. But this breakthrough isn't just about material wealth. No, it's much deeper than that. It's about an abundance of peace, joy, and opportunities that will leave you in awe. The universe has been aligning every detail of your life to ensure that you receive all that you've worked so hard for. Every setback, every delay, every closed door was preparing you for this moment. When this breakthrough comes, it will feel like a floodgate opening. Opportunities, blessings, and resources will pour into your life like a river that's finally found its course. But remember, the universe works in divine timing. The trials you've endured weren't there to punish you. They were there to prepare you. Without them, you wouldn't have the strength, wisdom, or resilience to handle what's coming. It's easy to reflect on your past and feel the weight of the pain you've endured. The sleepless nights that stretched endlessly, the heartbreaks that left you questioning your strength, and the moments when giving up seemed like the only option. At the time, those struggles may have felt overwhelming, even unbearable, and you might have wondered why life seemed so difficult. But here's a powerful truth. Every single one of those challenges was necessary. Each trial was a lesson, a stepping stone, preparing you for something far greater than you could imagine. Without them, you wouldn't be the person you are today. Think of a diamond. It begins as a simple piece of carbon, but under intense heat and pressure, it transforms into something brilliant, valuable, and indestructible. Without that pressure, it would remain just an ordinary lump of coal. Your journey mirrors this transformation. The struggles you faced didn't come to destroy you. They came to refine you, to shape you into someone strong, resilient, and capable of embracing the abundance and opportunities that are now on the horizon. Every tear you shed, every moment of doubt, and every setback was building something within you: wisdom, endurance, and a deeper understanding of life. The sleepless nights taught you resilience. The heartbreaks opened your heart to greater compassion and understanding. The moments of despair strengthened your resolve and forced you to dig deeper, to find a strength within yourself that you didn't even know existed. These experiences have prepared you, not just to survive, but to thrive. Now, as you stand at the edge of a new chapter, know that you are ready. The foundation has been laid. Those painful moments have been transformed into the strength and wisdom you need to step fully into your purpose. This is your time to reap the harvest of everything you've sown through your perseverance. The trials were not the end. They were the preparation. What lies ahead is a reward, far greater than the struggles you've endured. Your journey was never in vain, and now the fruits of your growth are about to unfold in ways that will take your breath away. You may not see it all right now, but trust this. There is a divine blueprint for your life. Every experience you've had, every person you've encountered, and every challenge you've faced has been part of a carefully orchestrated plan. Nothing you've been through is random or without purpose. The moments of joy, the seasons of struggle, and the quiet in-betweens all serve as pieces of a puzzle that is now beginning to take shape. Right now, you are entering a pivotal phase in your life where this divine plan will unfold in ways more beautiful and more extraordinary than you can imagine. The wealth that's coming your way is not just material. It's holistic, encompassing every facet of your being. This wealth is your divine birthright, a manifestation of the life of abundance you were always meant to live. It's more than money. It's the richness of meaningful relationships that uplift and inspire you. It's the gift of endless opportunities that align with your deepest passions. It's the quiet, unshakable peace that comes from living a life of purpose and fulfillment. This abundance doesn't just touch your finances. It enhances your spiritual growth, your emotional well-being, and your sense of connection to the world around you. When you align yourself with this divine plan, everything begins to fall into place. Your struggles and triumphs, your unique talents and dreams, they all converge into a singular path that leads you toward the life you were designed to live. Your gifts are not random. They were given to you for a reason. Your passions are not mere interests. They are clues guiding you toward your destiny. These are the tools you will use to manifest a life that reflects the true essence of who you are and what you are capable of achieving. The beauty of this alignment is that it feels effortless. Instead of forcing things to happen, you'll find doors opening where you once saw walls. Opportunities will appear that perfectly match your skills and desires. Relationships will blossom that nurture your spirit and propel you forward. When you trust in the divine plan and embrace the abundance waiting for you, you step into the life you've always been destined to live. A life where every aspect of your being thrives. I know it's hard to trust when life has thrown so many challenges your way. When you've spent years struggling, fighting battles no one else sees, and enduring a reality of scarcity, trusting in abundance can feel almost impossible. It's easy to wonder if things will ever change, to feel that the universe has forgotten you. But let me tell you something powerful. Even when it doesn't seem like it, the universe is always working behind the scenes, aligning every detail of your life to bring you exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. Financial abundance is not a question of if, but when. Every setback, every rejection, every delay you've experienced was not a punishment. It was preparation. Think of the detours you've taken not as obstacles, but as alternate routes carefully designed to lead you to something even greater. The universe knows your needs, your desires, and your dreams intimately. It knows the exact timing required for you to receive those blessings fully and sustainably. Sometimes the delays are there to build your strength, to help you grow, or to ensure that you're ready to handle the incredible abundance waiting for you. Your role in this divine process is simple yet profound. Trust, have patience, and remain open. Trust that everything is unfolding as it should, even when you can't see the full picture. Patience doesn't mean passivity. It means staying grounded in the belief that what's meant for you will find its way to you. And openness means letting go of doubts and fears so you can receive the blessings that are already making their way into your life. One day soon, you'll look back and realize that every challenge was a lesson in disguise. Every delay was a blessing wrapped in patience. You'll see how the seemingly disconnected pieces of your journey fit together perfectly, forming a picture more beautiful than you could have imagined. The universe doesn't make mistakes. Trust in the process, trust in the timing, and trust in the abundance that's destined to flow into your life. You are closer to your breakthrough than you think, so hold on and stay ready for the blessings to come. Patience is one of the most powerful tools you have on your journey to success. It's not just about waiting, it's about trusting that everything is unfolding in perfect alignment with divine timing. Even when you can't see progress on the surface, know that the seeds of your dreams are taking root and growing beneath the soil. Think of a seed. It doesn't sprout the moment it's planted. It takes time, care, sunlight, water, and the right conditions to grow into a strong and beautiful plant. The process can't be rushed, and neither can your journey to abundance. Your prosperity works the same way. The dreams and goals you've nurtured are growing, maturing, and evolving, even if you can't see the full picture yet. Every moment of waiting isn't wasted. It's a vital part of the process. It's in these moments that you are being prepared, strengthened, and refined for the incredible blessings that are coming your way. When the time is right, your efforts will bear fruit in ways that exceed your expectations, blossoming into a life of abundance, joy, and fulfillment. Patience requires faith. It asks you to trust that everything is happening as it should, even when progress feels slow or non-existent. It's about staying grounded and refusing to let doubt or fear take root in your heart. Each passing day, even in the waiting, is moving you closer to the abundance you've dreamed of. Keep nurturing your goals, stay resilient in your faith, and trust in the process. Remember, the best is yet to come, and the life you're building will be worth every moment of patience and perseverance. Imagine a life where money flows to you effortlessly, like water running through a clear, endless stream. Gone are the days of worry about bills, debts, or financial limitations. Instead, you live in a state of ease, knowing that financial freedom is not just possible, it's your reality. This isn't some far-off dream, it's the new chapter you're stepping into, a chapter where abundance and prosperity are your everyday companions. Financial freedom doesn't mean reckless spending or indulgence without purpose. It means living with peace of mind, unburdened by the constant stress of making ends meet. It's about having the resources to enjoy life fully while staying grounded in gratitude and wisdom. Picture yourself walking through life with confidence, knowing that you have the means to meet your needs and fulfill your desires, whether it's traveling the world, experiencing cultures you've always dreamed of, or giving generously to causes close to your heart. Financial freedom empowers you to live boldly and joyfully. Now, imagine the home you've always envisioned, a place of comfort, beauty, and safety that reflects the life you've worked so hard to create. Visualize waking up every morning without the weight of financial stress, free to focus on what truly matters, your passions, your loved ones, and your purpose. This isn't a fantasy. This is the reality waiting for you. It's a life where money is no longer a source of fear, but a tool for creating joy, sharing abundance, and building a legacy. This is the freedom you've been destined to experience, and it's closer than you think. The stream of abundance is flowing. Step into it with confidence. To fully embrace the wealth that is already destined for you, it's crucial to align yourself with it on every level: mind, heart, and soul. This means letting go of limiting beliefs that have held you back. Beliefs like, money is hard to come by, or success isn't meant for me. These thoughts are barriers to abundance, blocking the flow of prosperity that is trying to reach you. Instead, replace them with empowering affirmations such as, money flows to me effortlessly, I attract wealth with ease, and I am worthy of unlimited success. By shifting your mindset, you create a fertile ground for abundance to take root and grow. Visualization is another powerful tool for alignment. Take a moment to picture the life you desire. See it vividly in your mind, the home of your dreams, filled with warmth and beauty. Imagine yourself driving the car you've always wanted, feeling the freedom of the open road. Picture yourself traveling to breathtaking destinations, immersing yourself in new cultures and experiences. Envision the joy of giving back, contributing to causes that touch your heart, and knowing you're making a difference in the world. The clearer and more detailed your vision, the stronger its pull becomes, aligning your energy with the reality you wish to create. Alignment is about more than thoughts. It's about embodying the energy of abundance in your actions and attitudes. Act as though you're already living the life you envision. Practice gratitude for what you have and what's on its way. When your mindset, energy, and actions are in harmony, abundance begins to manifest faster than you could imagine. Trust in the process. Let go of doubts and watch as the wealth you've always dreamed of flows naturally into your life. You are not here by accident. You are here for a reason, chosen and guided by a divine purpose that is leading you toward unstoppable success. Every challenge, every setback, every moment of doubt has been part of your preparation for this moment. The road has not been easy, but it has been worth it. Each step you've taken, no matter how small, has been building the foundation for the life of abundance that is now within your reach. Now is your time to shine. The abundance you've been waiting for is no longer a distant dream. It's rushing toward you. Trust in divine timing, even when it feels like nothing is happening. The universe has been working tirelessly behind the scenes, aligning every piece of your journey so that your blessings arrive exactly when you are ready to receive them. Align yourself with this flow, open your heart to the possibilities, and embrace the wealth, joy, and opportunities that are already yours. Chosen ones, the future is bright. What lies ahead is more extraordinary than anything you've imagined. Your life is about to transform in ways that will leave you in awe. Believe it, receive it, and step boldly into the reality you were born to live. Thank you for allowing this message to speak into your heart. If it has inspired you, don't keep it to yourself. Help us spread this light by hitting the like button and sharing this video with someone who needs encouragement. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and join this community of chosen ones as we step into a new era of purpose, abundance, and unstoppable success. Your best days are not behind you. They are ahead of you. Your life will never be the same again. They looked at you standing alone and thought they had the upper hand. Their numbers gave them false confidence. But here's what they didn't understand. When faced with someone like you, driven by purpose, armed with unshakable faith, and guided by a divine force, their numbers are meaningless. You are not just one person. You are a force. You are a storm. And that terrifies them. It isn't what you do that sends chills down their spines. It's who you are. A single, unwavering presence, unbent by fear, unshaken by opposition, and unstoppable in your mission. You are a living reminder of their fragility. A lone figure standing tall while they huddle together, whispering, scheming, and clinging to the illusion of strength found in numbers. If this message resonates with you, if it fuels your spirit and reminds you of your own unstoppable potential, take a moment to join this journey. Subscribe to the channel for more stories that inspire, uplift, and remind us of the power of faith and purpose. Together, we'll uncover the truth of who we are meant to be and stand tall in our calling. Hit that subscribe button now and step into your destiny, because the world needs more forces like you. Their so-called power is a fragile illusion, built on numbers, alliances, and the shallow comfort of groupthink. Witches, warlocks, gossipers, and cliques of envy. They thrive in the shadows, weaving false narratives and whispering lies, mistaking collective agreement for true strength. They huddle together, drawing false courage from their alliances, believing their numbers make them invincible. But their strength is as delicate as glass, shattering under the weight of one individual who stands tall, unwavering, and moves with divine purpose. What terrifies them most isn't your actions, it's your independence. They fear the way you stand alone, undeterred by their schemes and untouchable by their manipulations. Your strength doesn't come from their approval, their alliances, or their validation. While they depend on the noise of their groups to mask their fragility, you walk in silence, resolute, focused, and unstoppable. In you, they see everything they lack. Your clarity, your fearlessness, your unshakable resolve. It all serves as a mirror to their insecurities. While they cling to each other, you stand apart, exposing the truth they work so hard to hide. Their power is nothing more than a mirage, their unity a fragile crutch propping up their fear of standing alone. You don't just walk with independence, you embody it. You prove that true strength doesn't need numbers to thrive. It is rooted in purpose, fortified by faith, and unstoppable when guided by something greater. And that is why they fear you. You are the force that shatters their illusions and reminds them of the truth they dare not face. Your solitude is not a weakness, it is your greatest strength. It is a deliberate, strategic position, one that allows you to stand unburdened by distractions or the weight of false alliances. In stripping away the unnecessary, you have uncovered the core of your mission, the pure and unshakable essence of your purpose. Every step you take is deliberate, every decision rooted in clarity and focus. You are not scattered or uncertain like those who huddle in groups for validation. Instead, you move with the precision of someone guided by a higher calling. While they scramble to gather allies, trying desperately to reinforce their fragile sense of control, you stride forward with a quiet confidence that speaks louder than all their noise. Their strength is superficial, built on numbers and held together by fear, but your solitude has refined you. It has sharpened your focus, strengthened your resolve, and set you apart as a beacon of clarity and self-assuredness. They see your independence as a threat because it shines a glaring light on their dependency. They rely on their numbers, clinging to one another like shipwrecked sailors clutching at driftwood, while you stand firm, like a lighthouse cutting through the chaos of their storm. Your calm, unshaken presence exposes their fragility. This is why they fear you. Your solitude isn't isolation, it's liberation. Free from their noise and schemes, you are able to see clearly and act decisively. Your independence is a testament to your strength, a force that cuts through their illusions like a blade, leaving nothing but truth in its wake. You don't just walk alone, you thrive alone, proving that true power lies not in numbers, but in purpose. History is filled with extraordinary individuals who, like you, stood alone and dismantled the false empires of their time. These are the ones who faced overwhelming odds, yet their unshakable faith, clarity of purpose, and divine alignment made them unstoppable. Elijah is one such figure. Alone on Mount Carmel, he stood against hundreds of false prophets who claimed power and truth through their numbers. Elijah didn't waver. He didn't need a crowd or the validation of others to confirm his mission. His unwavering trust in God was all he needed to call down fire from heaven, exposing the lies of an entire nation and demonstrating the undeniable power of truth. Buddha's story, too, is one of transformative solitude. Beneath the Bodhi tree, surrounded by temptations, distractions, and challenges, he found clarity not in the noise of the world, but in the silence of stillness. It was there, in solitude, that he attained enlightenment, a wisdom so profound it would ripple through humanity for millennia, reshaping entire civilizations. His choice to embrace solitude was not an escape. It was an act of deep purpose, allowing him to see beyond the illusions of the world. Saint Francis of Assisi turned away from the wealth and clamor of society to embrace simplicity and quiet devotion. In solitude, he discovered spiritual truths that redefined faith and inspired countless others to seek a deeper, more authentic connection with God. His resolve, born out of silence and humility, stood as a challenge to the materialism and noise of his time. Like these individuals, your independence is not isolation, it is strength. It is a declaration that you do not rely on the shifting sands of collective validation to find purpose. Instead, you draw power from a deeper source. Your unwavering resolve is a mirror, revealing the fragility of the systems and illusions that others depend on. You, like them, are proof that one aligned soul can challenge and dismantle even the mightiest of falsehoods. You embody a courage that most people can only dream of. It is the rare kind of bravery that pushes beyond fear and comfort, the same courage Christopher Columbus alluded to when he said, You can never cross the ocean unless you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. While others cling to the safety of familiarity, terrified to step into the unknown, you stride forward, guided not by what you see, but by a faith that burns brighter than any uncertainty. Your purpose is your compass, and your resolve is unshakable. This independence terrifies them because it forces them to confront their deepest inadequacies. In you, they see everything they lack: clarity, strength, and the audacity to walk alone without needing validation or reassurance. While they depend on the crutch of numbers and alliances, you walk with unwavering confidence, showing that true power doesn't come from the approval of others but from a higher calling. Their power is built on illusions, on fear, manipulation, and the fragile belief that they can control those around them. But you've torn through those illusions, dismantling their schemes and exposing their vulnerabilities. Your clarity cuts through their chaos like a sword, leaving them powerless in the face of your truth. You don't just stand apart, you shine. Your courage is disruptive because it reveals that strength doesn't come from the noise of the crowd but from the stillness of purpose. They fear you because you are a reminder of what they could be if they had the bravery to step away from their illusions. But they don't. And so they tremble, powerless against the light you carry. You are not just moving forward. You are a radiant force of light cutting through the thickest darkness. They thrive in shadows, weaving schemes, sowing confusion, and planting seeds of doubt in those they seek to control. But your presence disrupts their plans like a blazing beacon in the night, exposing their hidden agendas and rendering their efforts powerless. Your calm, steady confidence doesn't just silence their whispers, it obliterates them. Their lies crumble under the sheer weight of your unwavering resolve, leaving them nowhere to hide. Your resilience is more than just a shield. It is a mirror. It forces them to confront their deepest fears and insecurities, reflecting back the truth of their own fragility. While they try to control through fear, manipulation, and deceit, you remain steadfast, unshaken by their attempts. Each time they try to rattle you, your strength only serves to reveal the emptiness of their tactics. You don't just endure their chaos, you operate above it, with precision and clarity they cannot match. They spread fear in the hopes of paralyzing others, but you radiate fearlessness. Your confidence is disarming, a quiet yet undeniable force that leaves them scrambling for answers. While they hide behind deception, you stand firm in truth. Your ability to move with purpose, unencumbered by doubt or fear, reveals the futility of their schemes. You are a force they cannot comprehend, a light they cannot extinguish. And with every step you take, their shadows retreat, unable to stand in the face of the fearless clarity you embody. Adversity has always been their weapon, their way of breaking others down and seizing control. But for you, it has become a proving ground, a place where your strength has been refined and your resolve fortified. Every challenge they've hurled at you, every attempt to break your spirit, has only served to make you stronger. Like gold refined in the intense heat of a furnace, your trials have purified you, stripping away doubt and fear and leaving behind an unshakable faith and clarity of purpose. They thought their schemes, lies, and manipulations would extinguish your light, but all they've done is make it burn brighter. Each obstacle they placed in your path has become a stepping stone, lifting you higher, closer to the fulfillment of your mission. What they meant for harm, God has turned into good, transforming their weapons into tools for your growth. Every victory you claim is more than just a personal milestone. It's a testament to the divine power guiding you. Unlike their fleeting triumphs, built on deceit, compromise, and manipulation, your success is clean, untarnished, and undeniable. Your triumphs shine as proof of a life lived in alignment with God's will, a reflection of what happens when faith is your foundation and purpose is your compass. Their efforts to destroy you have only strengthened the very things they sought to weaken. Your resilience has become an unmovable force, and your faith has become a radiant light that exposes their shadows. You are living proof that adversity does not define you, it refines you, preparing you for greater victories and aligning you ever closer with the purpose you are meant to fulfill. You are not merely weathering the storm. You are the storm. Your very presence disrupts their carefully laid plans, sending shockwaves through their strategies and scattering their efforts like leaves in a fierce wind. They have spent so much time constructing fragile webs of influence and control, only to watch them unravel in the face of your unwavering strength. Every step you take, every move you make, is a declaration that their power was never real. It was always an illusion, built on fear and manipulation. You expose this truth with every act of courage and clarity. What truly terrifies them is not the idea of losing control over you. It's the realization that they never had it in the first place. They relied on intimidation, deceit, and the hope that you would falter, but your fearlessness has dismantled their strategies before they even had a chance to take root. They depend on uncertainty and doubt, planting seeds of hesitation in others to maintain their grip on power. But you deny them that foothold. You move with confidence and faith, leaving no room for their schemes to gain traction. Your strength is something they cannot replicate, a clarity they cannot disrupt, and a faith they cannot silence. They scramble to regain a sense of control, but their efforts are futile in the face of your steady resolve. You are a force they never anticipated, a storm they cannot predict, and a power they cannot contain. Their illusions crumble, their fears are laid bare, and their hold on others disintegrates as they come to terms with the undeniable truth. You are unstoppable. You are far more than just one person standing against opposition. You are a force of nature, an uncontainable power that cannot be subdued or silenced. Your authority is not rooted in numbers, alliances, or worldly validation. It flows from a divine source that they cannot comprehend, let alone manipulate. While they scramble for agreement and cling to the shifting sands of collective opinion, you remain unshaken. You stand firm, like a mountain rising above the storm, immovable and steadfast, no matter how fiercely the winds of opposition rage against you. Your independence is not isolation, it is liberation. It is the freedom to move with clarity and precision, unburdened by the distractions, doubts, and schemes that weigh others down. You are not confined by the expectations of others or the need for their approval. Instead, you are guided by a higher calling, one that infuses your every step with purpose and power. Every victory you achieve is more than just a personal triumph. It is a testament to the strength that comes from walking in alignment with something greater than yourself. It is a declaration of what is possible when faith, focus, and divine guidance come together. While they stumble in confusion, weighed down by the chaos they create, you move forward with calm confidence, a living embodiment of clarity and purpose. Your presence is a challenge to their very foundation. It reveals the fragility of the systems they depend on and the emptiness of their collective strength. They see in you the undeniable truth. True power does not come from numbers or manipulation, but from an unwavering connection to something eternal. And that truth is your greatest victory. They cling desperately to their numbers, gathering in groups and alliances, hoping that the illusion of collective strength will hide the truth. They believe their numbers make them powerful, that the weight of their combined voices can drown out what they fear most, the undeniable light of truth. But their power is a facade, a fragile construct held together by fear, manipulation, and deception. They depend on intimidation, spreading lies and creating chaos. But their schemes crumble when confronted by someone like you, someone who walks in unwavering truth. You have exposed them for what they are, weak, hollow, and dependent on the approval of others to feel powerful. Their strength has no foundation because it is rooted in shadows, designed to exploit insecurity. But you are a disruptor, a breaker of chains. You shine a light so bright that their darkness has nowhere to hide. Their whispers fade into irrelevance. Their lies dissolve under the weight of your truth, and their schemes fail in the face of your clarity. Your strength doesn't come from external validation or the fleeting approval of others. It is born of an unshakable inner resolve, fortified by purpose and guided by divine alignment. You are proof that true power is not loud or boastful. It is quiet, steady, and unmovable. Your presence alone challenges the systems they've built, forcing them to confront their dependency on illusions. You are living testimony to the truth they fear to face, that their numbers, their schemes, and their control are powerless against someone who stands firm in their calling. You don't just survive their opposition, you dismantle it one step at a time, with the unyielding strength of someone who moves in truth. They cannot control what they cannot understand, and you are beyond their comprehension. Your strength doesn't fit into their framework, and that terrifies them. It is not something they can manipulate, diminish, or replicate, because it flows from a higher power, one they cannot reach, influence, or even grasp. This divine connection is the foundation of your resolve, the source of your clarity, and the reason you cannot be shaken. That is why they fear you. That is why they will never win. You move with quiet assurance, your actions speaking louder than their noise or schemes ever could. While they clamor for attention and gather in groups to bolster their fragile sense of power, you move in silence, confident in your purpose. Every step you take is deliberate, guided by faith, and unyielding in its precision. You stride forward with the calm assurance of someone who knows their path is divinely aligned, and that knowledge makes you unstoppable. While they rely on collective noise to drown out their fears, you stand apart, a solitary force that commands attention without saying a word. Your strength is not found in numbers or alliances, but in the quiet, unshakable certainty of who you are and who has sent you. Their schemes falter, and their confidence crumbles when confronted with your unwavering presence. You are a reminder of what they lack: the ability to stand alone, the clarity of divine guidance, and the power of a purpose greater than themselves. They cannot control or predict you, and that is why you are unstoppable. You don't just move forward, you move with purpose, leaving their illusions shattered in your wake. You don't just expose their illusions, you shatter them completely. Every victory you claim, every step you take forward, is a bold declaration that their power was never real. It was always a fragile mirage, built on fear and manipulation. Their threats dissolve like smoke when confronted with your unwavering resolve. You are not just surviving their opposition, you are thriving in the midst of it. You are the storm they cannot predict, the force they cannot contain, and the truth they cannot silence. This is why they fear you, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. You are living proof that true strength flows not from numbers or schemes, but from faith, clarity, and divine purpose. Each step you take sends a ripple through their illusions, proving that their power pales in comparison to the eternal, unshakable force that guides you. Your presence isn't just a challenge to their plans, it is a revelation of a higher truth they cannot suppress. If this message resonates with you and has reminded you of the power of walking in faith and purpose, we invite you to join us on this journey. Your support means so much, and together, we can continue to shine light into the darkest corners. Subscribe to the channel to explore more uplifting stories, empowering messages, and reflections that inspire strength and clarity in every step you take. Thank you for being part of this community, and remember, your journey is divinely guided and your power is greater than you realize. Chosen ones, what I am about to reveal may surprise you. It may even shake you to your core. Deep within, you have always felt different, as if there was something special about you that others couldn't understand. If you are watching this video, know this: it is not a coincidence. You are here for a reason. Your childhood was anything but ordinary. There were moments, signs, and experiences that carried a divine message, even if you didn't recognize them at the time. You were chosen from the very beginning, marked for a purpose far greater than you could have imagined. This video will help you remember what has been hidden from you and awaken you to your true identity. So, I urge you, watch this video until the end. What I am about to share will open your eyes and bring a spiritual awakening that will change your life forever. Before we begin, I need you to do 3 things. Number 1, like this video so more chosen ones can find it. Number 2, subscribe to our channel. Let's grow this community to 30,000 strong. Number 3, comment 99. This number carries powerful energy that will magnify this message. If you are truly chosen, you will feel it in your soul. This message was meant for you. Now, let us embark on this journey together to uncover your divine purpose. From the moment you were born, you were different. The signs were there, subtle, yet powerful. The world may not have noticed, but God did. He set you apart, marking you for something greater, something far beyond the ordinary. While others lived without questioning, you always felt there was more. More to life, more to your existence, more to the world around you. Even as a child, you may have felt out of place, as if you didn't quite belong. While other children played and laughed without a care, you were drawn to deeper thoughts. Perhaps you sat quietly, observing the world, trying to understand things beyond what others could see. Maybe you questioned life in ways that even adults struggled to answer. You may have often asked yourself, why am I here? What is my true purpose? Why do I think differently than everyone else? At times, this difference may have made you feel lonely, like no one truly understood you. But let me tell you this, it was never a weakness. That feeling of being different, of being set apart, was a divine sign. It was God's way of showing you that you were meant for something greater. Ephesians 1:4 tells us, "For he chose us in Christ before the foundation of the world. In his love he predestined us to be holy and without blemish." From the very start, God placed his hand upon you, guiding your steps even when you didn't realize it. Those moments of isolation were preparation, not punishment. They shaped you, molded you, and set you on a path toward your higher calling. Looking back, you may see now that those times when you felt different, when you felt like an outsider, were actually moments of divine positioning. God was aligning your spirit with his purpose, whispering to your soul that you were meant for more. So do not see your past as a burden. See it as a blessing. You were never meant to fit in. You were chosen to stand out. And now the time has come for you to embrace your divine purpose and step fully into the calling that has been upon your life since the very beginning. Number 1, you always felt different. While others fit in easily, you often felt like an outsider. You saw the world differently, thought differently, and questioned things that others never even considered. While many were content with surface-level conversations and simple pleasures, you were drawn to deeper truths. Your mind was always searching, always seeking something more, because it was divinely guided. You may have struggled to connect with peers, not because you lacked social skills, but because your thoughts and spirit were always focused on something bigger. Even from a young age, you found yourself contemplating the meaning of life, the mysteries of the universe, and the presence of God. While others were preoccupied with temporary things, you were drawn to truth, wisdom, and spiritual matters. At times, this difference may have felt lonely. You may have wondered, why don't I think like everyone else? Why do I feel so different? But let me tell you this, your uniqueness was never an accident. It was a calling. Jeremiah 29:11 reassures us, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." God created you to stand out, not to blend in. The way your mind works, the way your heart feels, the way your spirit longs for something greater, it's all part of his divine design. You were set apart for a reason. Embrace your uniqueness, because it is the key to your purpose. The world needs people like you, those who see beyond the ordinary, who ask the deeper questions, and who seek the truth that leads to God. Number 2, you had a strong sense of empathy. From childhood, you felt deeply for others. You could sense when someone was hurting, even when they said nothing at all. Their pain weighed on your heart as if it were your own, and their happiness lifted your spirit as if you were the one experiencing it. This was not just sensitivity or a personality trait. It was a divine gift, a reflection of God's love working through you. Empathy is one of the clearest signs of a chosen one. It means that God has entrusted you with the ability to heal, to comfort, and to guide others toward Him. While the world may see empathy as a burden, in God's eyes, it is a calling. He placed this gift in you so that you could bear the burdens of others, not as a weight to crush you, but as a mission to bring light and love to those who need it most. Galatians 6:2 reminds us, "Bear one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ." Your ability to feel deeply is not a flaw. It is a sign that God has called you to serve. Perhaps you found yourself drawn to those who are struggling, offering a listening ear, a kind word, or silent support. Maybe you've wondered why you care so much when others seem indifferent. It's because you were chosen to be different. Your compassion was never weakness. It was your strength. It is the evidence of God's hand upon your life, shaping you into someone who reflects His love. Do not run from it. Embrace it. The world needs more hearts like yours. Number 3. You had deep, meaningful dreams. God speaks to His chosen ones in many ways, and one of the most powerful is through dreams. Have you ever had a dream so vivid, so intense, that it felt more real than anything else? Have you ever dreamt of something, only to see it unfold in real life days, weeks, or even years later? If so, know this: these were not coincidences. They were divine messages, carefully placed in your heart by God Himself. In Matthew 1:20-21, we see a powerful example of this. But while he thought about these things, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream, saying, "Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife, for what is conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. She will give birth to a son, and you shall call his name Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins." Just as God spoke to Joseph, guiding him toward his divine purpose, He still speaks to His chosen ones today. Some dreams bring warnings, preparing you for what's ahead. Others bring clarity, giving you peace in times of uncertainty. Some may even reveal glimpses of the future, awakening you to a deeper spiritual understanding. If you have ever had a dream that stayed with you, one that whispered a truth into your soul, one that felt like more than just imagination, know that it was not random. It was God communicating with you, reminding you that He is guiding your steps. Pay attention to these moments. Pray for understanding. God is revealing something important to you. Are you listening? Number 4. You experienced divine protection. Think back. Have there been moments in your life where danger was near, yet somehow you were spared? Times when a situation should have ended badly, yet everything turned around in ways you couldn't explain? Have you ever looked back at a moment in your past and realized that you shouldn't have made it through, but you did? These moments were not coincidences. They were not luck. They were divine intervention. Psalm 34:7 reminds us, "The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear Him, and He delivers them." This means that God has been watching over you from the very beginning. You were never truly alone, even when you felt lost. His hand was always upon you, protecting you in ways you didn't even realize at the time. Perhaps there were days when you wondered, "How did I get through that?" The answer is simple. God was with you. The enemy may have tried to bring harm into your life, but God's protection was greater. Every time you were saved from unseen danger, every time an opportunity opened when it should have closed, every time you found strength when you should have been broken, those were signs that God was watching over you. Even in the darkest times, even when you doubted, even when you felt abandoned, He never left you. His angels were encamped around you, shielding you from harm. And now, as you step into your divine calling, know this: the same God who protected you then is still with you now. Number 5. You had an unexplainable connection to God. From a young age, you felt drawn to God. Maybe you couldn't explain it, but deep inside, you knew he was real. It was as if his presence surrounded you, guiding you in ways you didn't fully understand. While others went about their lives without thinking much about faith, you felt something deeper. A longing, a connection, an unshakable awareness that there was more to this world than what the eyes could see. At times, you may have felt an urge to pray, even when you didn't know why. Perhaps you found yourself talking to God in moments of uncertainty, seeking His presence when you were alone. And when you did, you experienced a peace that went beyond understanding, a calm assurance that no matter what happened, He was with you. Jeremiah 29:12-13 tells us, "You will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will hear you. You will seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart." This means your desire for God was never random. It was a divine relationship, one that had been with you since childhood. That connection has always been there, a quiet but powerful presence in your life. It was God's way of reminding you that you were never alone, that He had a purpose for you, and that He was calling you closer to Him. Now it is time to embrace that calling, to nurture that relationship, and to walk confidently in the purpose He has set before you. Everything you have experienced, your loneliness, your deep thoughts, your sensitivity, your vivid dreams, and your unshakable connection to God, was never random. Every moment of doubt, every unanswered question, every feeling of being different was not a mistake. It was preparation. James 1:2-4 reminds us, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing." This means that nothing you have endured was in vain. Every trial strengthened you. Every tear watered the seeds of wisdom in your soul, and every hardship refined you like gold in the fire. Your struggles were never meant to break you. They were meant to build you. The pain you felt was shaping you. The moments of rejection were setting you apart. The challenges were molding you into the person God designed you to be. What once seemed like obstacles were actually stepping stones leading you closer to your divine purpose. Now the question is, will you embrace it? Will you allow everything you have endured to fuel your faith, to step forward with confidence, knowing that you were chosen for something greater? The time has come to walk boldly into the life God has prepared for you. Your journey was never meant to end in struggle. It was always meant to lead to victory. Now that you understand the truth, the question is, what will you do with it? Knowing that you are chosen is not just about awareness, it is about action. God did not set you apart without a reason. He did not place this calling upon your life for it to remain dormant. He chose you to be a light in the darkness, a messenger of His love, and a vessel for His divine purpose. You are here to make a difference, to bring hope where there is despair, and to shine in a world that desperately needs God's presence. John 15:16 declares, "You did not choose me, but I chose you, and appointed you that you should go and bear fruit, fruit that will last." This means your calling is not temporary or insignificant. It is eternal. You were chosen to bear fruit, to impact lives, to spread truth, to walk in faith, and to bring others closer to God. This is not just a privilege, it is a responsibility. Now, it is time to step into your divine purpose. No more doubting, no more waiting. The same God who called you will equip you. He will guide you, strengthen you, and lead you toward everything He has prepared for you. The world needs the gifts He has placed inside you. Will you answer the call? Will you rise and walk in the purpose for which you were created? The choice is yours. But remember, you were chosen for such a time as this. If this message has resonated with you, if you recognize these signs in your own life, know this: you are not alone. Many others just like you are awakening to their true purpose. You are part of a greater plan, a divine movement unfolding before our eyes. So, take this message to heart. Embrace it, live it, and share it with those who need to hear it. You were chosen for something extraordinary, something beyond what you can imagine. Now is the time to step forward in faith and claim the purpose that God has placed upon your life. If you are ready to walk in your divine calling, type 99 in the comments. Let this be your declaration of faith and alignment with God's plan. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for answering the call. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a message meant for you. Together, we are stronger. Together, we will fulfill our purpose. Imagine for a moment that your soul, in its infinite wisdom, chose the exact family you were born into, not as a random act of chaos, but with the precision of a master artist. It carefully examined the tapestry of this life, the challenges that lay ahead, and said, "This is where I will grow. This is where I will awaken." And yet here you are, questioning why you were placed in a family that feels like a battlefield. Why were you raised in an environment that seemed to chip away at your spirit instead of nurturing it? I've been there. You've been there. We all know the pain, the doubt, and the anger that comes with being born into a toxic family. But let me share a profound truth. Being born into a toxic family is not a punishment. It's not some cruel twist of karma designed to haunt you. It is a gift, a monumental, life-altering, paradigm-shifting gift. I know it doesn't feel that way. Not yet. But stay with me, and together, we'll explore the hidden wisdom buried within your pain. We'll uncover the reason why your soul chose this path and how it's shaping you into something extraordinary. Toxic families are like fire. They burn, leaving deep scars that linger far beyond the moments of pain. They hurt in ways words often fail to capture. Yet fire has another purpose. It forges. It tempers steel, making it stronger, more resilient, and capable of withstanding immense pressure. In much the same way, the challenges of growing up in a toxic family forge the soul, stripping away the comforting illusions that life is always simple or fair. They force us to confront the raw, unfiltered truth of what it means to be human, to experience pain, and ultimately, to grow from it. If you've ever felt like you don't belong, as if you were dropped into a family that doesn't reflect who you are, it's not a coincidence. That feeling of being different is your soul recognizing its mission. Toxic families are, paradoxically, the perfect training ground for those destined to break generational cycles. Those who bear this unique burden are often the ones we call the chosen ones. You weren't born to live an ordinary, unremarkable life. You weren't placed here to follow in the footsteps of the dysfunction you've witnessed. Instead, you were chosen to rise above it all, to transcend the pain and transform it into something beautiful. But why? Why would your soul willingly choose such a path of hardship? The answer lies in the nature of the toxicity you were born into. It is not random. It is deeply ancestral and generational. The pain, the dysfunction, and the harmful patterns that surround you are the cumulative weight of unhealed wounds, unspoken truths, and unconscious behaviors passed down through your lineage. These cycles didn't start with your family, but they were handed to them, and now they have been handed to you. And here's where your role becomes extraordinary. You, my friend, were born to stop it. You were chosen to be the one who sees the cycle clearly, who understands its weight and pain, and who has the courage to break it once and for all. You are here to heal, not just for yourself, but for all those who came before you and all those who will come after. Let that truth settle in for a moment. You weren't born to fit in or conform. You weren't meant to live a life dictated by fear, pain, or dysfunction. You were born to stand out, to challenge the patterns that have kept generations trapped, and to create a new legacy. This is what makes you the chosen one. It's not an easy role, but it's a sacred one. Through your courage to confront and heal, you are forging a path of freedom and transformation, not just for yourself, but for your entire lineage. To break a cycle, you must first experience it. You cannot heal what you don't understand, and you cannot rise above what you haven't faced. That is why you were placed in the middle of the storm, not to drown in its chaos, but to learn how to navigate its turbulent waters. Life has a way of putting us in exactly the situations we need to grow, even if they seem unbearable at the time. The storm is your teacher, your forge, your preparation for something greater. Take a moment and think about your family. What do you see? Do you see anger simmering beneath every conversation? Neglect, where love should have been? Manipulation, disguised as care? Or control, suffocating your sense of freedom? These are painful truths, but they are truths nonetheless. Now let's take this reflection a step further. Where do you see that same energy within yourself? This is one of the hardest questions to ask because it requires brutal honesty. It's far easier to blame our families for their dysfunction than it is to see how we've internalized their behaviors. But the truth is this: toxic families don't just wound us, they mirror us. They reflect back the parts of ourselves we are too afraid to face, the anger we suppress, the need for control we deny, the neglect we inflict upon ourselves by ignoring our own needs. And this is why, as painful as it is, your family is a gift. Their dysfunction is a mirror, giving you a chance to see yourself with raw, unflinching clarity. This doesn't mean their behavior is justified or excusable. It means it has a purpose. Within the fire of their dysfunction lies an unparalleled opportunity, not only to heal yourself but to transform yourself. As you begin to confront the wounds and patterns you've inherited, something extraordinary happens. You start to shift, to release what no longer serves you. And with every step you take toward healing, you transform not just yourself but the entire lineage from which you came. By breaking the cycle, you don't just end the pain for yourself. You end it for those who came before you and for those who will come after. So, as hard as it may be, look at your family with new eyes. See the storm not as a punishment, but as preparation. See the pain not as something to resent, but as a challenge to rise above. The storm is not here to destroy you. It is here to show you your strength. The mirror they hold up is not meant to shame you. It is meant to awaken you. And as you heal, you become the catalyst for an entirely new story, one where the cycles of pain are broken and replaced with cycles of love, growth, and freedom. Let's be clear. This journey is not easy. Being born into a toxic family is one of the hardest paths a soul can choose. It demands a level of resilience, courage, and inner strength that many never imagine they possess. It requires you to confront rejection from the very people who were meant to embrace you, betrayal from those who were supposed to protect you, and sometimes even the heartbreak of abandonment. It's a path fraught with challenges that test every fiber of your being. But here's the profound truth. While this path is painful, it is also transformative. The shift begins when you realize that your family's toxicity is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their pain. The anger, manipulation, and neglect you've experienced are not about you. They stem from their unhealed wounds, their fears, and their limitations. Once you see this clearly, the burden begins to lift. Every time you choose love over hate, understanding over judgment, and compassion over anger, you are breaking the cycle. You are dismantling patterns that have persisted for generations, rewriting the story not just for yourself, but for your entire lineage. Each act of grace, no matter how small, is a powerful act of defiance against the toxicity that has sought to define you. Imagine for a moment, what would happen if you stopped fighting your family? What if, instead of resisting their dysfunction, you started to see them as your greatest teachers? This doesn't mean excusing their behavior or denying your pain. It means shifting your perspective to see the lessons hidden within the chaos. What are they teaching you about boundaries, about self-worth, about the power of choosing differently? This is where true transformation begins, not by running from the pain or pretending it doesn't exist, but by embracing it as a catalyst for growth. The wounds you carry from your family hold valuable lessons. They teach you resilience, the strength to stand firm in your truth, and the ability to love yourself even when others cannot. They challenge you to rise above the patterns you've inherited and to forge a new path defined by healing and wholeness. When you stop seeing your family as the source of your suffering and start recognizing them as the crucible through which your strength is forged, everything changes. Their actions, as hurtful as they may be, become an opportunity for you to define who you truly are. The rejection teaches you self-acceptance. The betrayal teaches you trust in yourself. The abandonment pushes you toward independence and self-reliance. Transformation doesn't come from denying the pain, but from embracing its lessons. When you lean into this truth, you step into your power. You begin to see the toxic environment not as a curse, but as the fertile ground where your resilience, compassion, and courage have taken root. And from there, you can grow into the person you were always meant to be, the one who breaks the cycle and brings light to the shadows of your lineage. Pain, especially the kind born from family, is a unique kind of hurt. It cuts deeply because it comes from the people who were supposed to nurture and protect us. But here's the thing: pain cannot be outrun. No matter how far you go, it travels with you, quietly settling into the corners of your heart and mind. Family wounds, whether they stem from criticism, neglect, control, or conditional love, shape who we are. They influence how we see the world, how we see others, and most profoundly, how we see ourselves. These wounds hurt deeply, but they also hold the key to our awakening. They are not just marks of what we've endured. They are lessons waiting to be uncovered. Every wound carries a truth. Every scar tells a story. And every moment of pain holds within it the potential for growth and transformation. Take a moment and think about the pain your family caused you. What emotions come to the surface? Anger, perhaps, at the unfairness of it all? Resentment at the betrayal of trust? Sadness at the love you needed but didn't receive? Maybe it's a mix of all three. Now pause and ask yourself a deeper question. What are those emotions teaching you about yourself? Anger might be pointing to your need for boundaries, showing you where your soul refuses to be mistreated anymore. Resentment may reveal the places where you've sacrificed too much of yourself to please others. Sadness might be highlighting the depth of love and connection you truly desire, a longing that's worth honoring and pursuing. The healing process begins when you realize a profound truth. The pain inflicted on you was never really about you. It was about them, your family's unhealed wounds, their fears, and their limitations. Their criticism, neglect, or control didn't reflect your value. It reflected their struggles. But somewhere along the way, you internalized it. You began to believe that their pain was a measure of your worth, that their inability to love you unconditionally meant you were somehow unlovable. This is where your true work begins. It starts with separating yourself from the stories your family wrote for you. The lies that say you're not enough, that you have to earn love, or that your voice doesn't matter. Healing means reclaiming your identity, peeling back the layers of their projections, and rediscovering who you are at your core. This journey isn't easy. It requires you to face the pain head-on, to grieve what you've lost, and to release the beliefs that no longer serve you. But as you do, something incredible happens. You begin to see the wounds not as defining scars, but as the fertile soil for your growth. You learn that your value was never tied to their actions, that their inability to love you as you deserved says nothing about your worth. Healing is the process of coming home to yourself, of reclaiming your power, and of rewriting your story. It's about transforming the pain of your past into the strength and wisdom of your future. And it all begins with the decision to face the pain, to learn its lessons, and to step boldly into the truth of who you really are. Healing isn't about fixing yourself. It's not about becoming something new or striving to be someone you're not. Instead, healing is about remembering who you were before the wounds, before the world's pain, judgments, and expectations left their marks on your heart. It's a process of peeling back the layers of conditioning, unlearning the stories you were told about your worth, and reconnecting with the essence of who you are. Beneath the hurt and the scars, your true self has always been there, waiting to be rediscovered. But true healing requires three essential things: self-love, self-compassion, and self-discipline. Self-love is the foundation of it all. It's the radical act of choosing yourself, even when others don't. It's recognizing that your worth isn't tied to anyone else's approval, affection, or validation. Self-love is about honoring your needs, protecting your boundaries, and affirming that you are enough exactly as you are. It's not selfish, it's essential. Without it, healing cannot truly begin. Self-compassion is the gentle voice that walks with you on this journey. It's the part of you that says, it's okay to feel hurt. It's okay to stumble. It's okay to not have all the answers right now. Healing isn't linear, and self-compassion gives you the grace to be human, to feel deeply, and to grow at your own pace. It's a reminder that you don't have to be perfect to be worthy of love and understanding, especially from yourself. Self-discipline is the commitment to show up for yourself every day, even when it's hard. Healing is not always comfortable. There will be days when old patterns resurface, when the pain feels heavier than usual, or when progress feels slow. But self-discipline is what keeps you moving forward. It's the choice to prioritize your well-being, to create habits that nurture your soul, and to take small but steady steps toward the life you deserve. Now let me ask you, what would your life look like if you lived as though you were truly worthy of love and happiness? Imagine waking up each day with the unshakable belief that you deserve kindness, joy, and peace. Not because of what you achieve or prove, but simply because you exist. What choices would you make? Would you set stronger boundaries? Let go of toxic relationships? Pursue your passions without fear of judgment? Living as though you are worthy isn't just a dream, it's a decision. It's choosing to align your actions with the truth of your value. It's letting go of the fear that holds you back and embracing the freedom to be unapologetically yourself. And as you do, you'll find that healing becomes less about overcoming the past and more about stepping fully into the life you were always meant to live. Breaking free isn't about cutting ties or abandoning your family entirely, though for some, that may be necessary for healing. Instead, breaking free is about something far deeper. It's about detaching from their energy, their expectations, and the narratives they've woven around your identity. It's about reclaiming your sense of self and loving them, not out of obligation or guilt, but from a place of wholeness and inner peace. True freedom isn't found in physical distance, though that can sometimes help. It's found in emotional liberation. It's in realizing that you no longer have to carry the weight of their opinions, their pain, or their projections. Freedom means recognizing that their actions, whether they were neglectful, controlling, or critical, do not define your worth. Their inability to show love in the way you deserved says nothing about your lovability. Detaching doesn't mean you stop caring about them. It means you stop letting their dysfunction dictate your life. You release the patterns and beliefs you've unconsciously inherited, the ones that tell you to stay small, to prioritize their needs over your own, or to live a life that satisfies their expectations instead of your own truth. When you break free, you allow yourself to see your family for who they are. Flawed, wounded individuals doing the best they can with the tools they have. This doesn't excuse their behavior, but it helps you understand it. From that place of understanding, you can choose how to engage with them in ways that honor your boundaries and protect your peace. When you heal, your transformation doesn't end with you. Healing is never a solitary act. It reverberates through time, creating a ripple effect that touches not only your life, but the lives of those who came before you and those who will come after. Your decision to confront and release the pain you've inherited is an act of profound courage, and its impact is far greater than you may realize. By choosing to heal, you break the chains of generational patterns that have kept your lineage trapped in cycles of pain, dysfunction, and unhealed wounds. You disrupt the flow of inherited trauma, paving the way for future generations to live with greater freedom, love, and self-awareness. And while the past cannot be changed, your healing shifts its energy. When you heal yourself, you honor your ancestors by showing that transformation is possible, even when they couldn't achieve it themselves. But healing doesn't mean fixing your family. You are not responsible for mending their wounds or solving their problems. Your greatest act of love isn't in trying to save them. It's in becoming the fullest, freest version of yourself. By stepping into your own power, you create a living example of what is possible. Your healing plants seeds of change in your family, even if you don't see immediate results. Sometimes those seeds take time to grow, and sometimes they bloom in ways you never anticipated. But your growth, your light, and your liberation inspire others in ways that words cannot. What if the greatest gift you could give your family is the permission to heal themselves by witnessing your journey? What if your transformation becomes their awakening? That's the power of your healing. It's not just for you, it's for everyone. Your family's toxicity is not your destiny, it's your training ground. It's the fire that forges you into someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient than you ever thought possible. Each time you rise above the pain, every time you choose to heal rather than perpetuate the cycle, you fulfill your purpose as a chosen one. Your journey is not accidental, it's deeply intentional. You were not born into a toxic family by mistake. You were born into it because you are strong enough to transcend its challenges, wise enough to extract its lessons, and brave enough to transform its pain into purpose. The circumstances you faced were not meant to break you, but to shape you into the person you are meant to be. A cycle breaker, a healer, and a beacon of light for others. So, let me leave you with this question. If you fully embraced your role as a chosen one, if you stepped fully into your power, what kind of life would you create? What would your days look like if you believed, without a shadow of a doubt, that you are worthy of love, joy, and freedom? Remember, your healing is not just for you. It is your gift to the world. Every time you shine your light, you transform the darkness, not only for yourself, but for everyone around you. You are rewriting your destiny, and in doing so, you're paving the way for others to do the same. Thank you for allowing me to share this journey with you. If this message resonated with you, please consider subscribing to our channel for more inspiring content. Together, let's continue to explore, heal, and grow as we step into the fullness of who we are meant to be. Your light matters. Never forget that. They tested your blood. Yes, you heard that right. They examined it in their laboratories, questioned it, and tried to comprehend the incredible power coursing through your veins. But the results left them in shock, and you in triumph. The truth? You are not ordinary. You are chosen. This energy within you, this divine force, is destined to change the world. They cannot stop your ascension because you exist beyond their understanding. Are you ready to embrace this truth? If so, let your voice be heard. Write 77 in the comments to declare your power and your chosenness. Remember, this is only the beginning. For too long, they believed they could shape your world, manipulate your reality, and define your worth. But now, the truth is dawning on them. Their supposed strength was nothing more than a shadow cast by your light, a borrowed confidence masking their dependence on you. Without your energy, their fragile house of cards collapses, leaving them scrambling in the ruins of their own illusions. The fragility of borrowed strength. Those who once sought control over you often wore the guise of strength and charm, projecting an image of confidence and authority. Their demeanor was carefully curated to inspire trust, portraying them as steadfast and reliable. Yet beneath this polished exterior lay a fragile ego, desperate for validation, a need they cunningly sought to fulfill through you. They were masters of subtle manipulation, planting seeds of self-doubt during your most vulnerable moments. Their calculated words twisted reality, reframing their domination as care, their interference as concern, and their silence as punishment, cultivating a cycle of emotional dependence that left you questioning your own worth. These individuals thrived in environments where harmony was valued over confrontation, exploiting your empathy and kindness as tools to maintain their control. They knew the language of guilt and gratitude, wielding it to secure their position. Each act of giving on your part was met with a carefully constructed response designed to keep you unaware of the power imbalance. They became the constant takers, feeding on your willingness to sacrifice, while ensuring you remained blind to their true intentions. But every cycle has its breaking point. The moment you chose to reclaim your narrative, the cracks in their control began to show. Perhaps it was a single quiet act, a firm boundary drawn where there had been none, a refusal to bend to their expectations, or an unapologetic decision to prioritize your well-being. That seemingly small step set off a chain reaction that unraveled their carefully constructed facade. The illusion of their strength, so dependent on your acquiescence, began to crumble. With each act of self-assertion, the equilibrium they relied upon tipped irreversibly out of their favor. The foundation of their dominance, built on your energy and compliance, started to falter. Suddenly, the rules of their game no longer applied. The power dynamic shifted, exposing the fragility they had long hidden behind their confident exterior. What they once took for granted, the quiet support, the endless understanding, the unspoken sacrifices, was no longer theirs to control. Your decision to prioritize yourself was not just an act of defiance, but a declaration of worth. It was a reclamation of your energy and autonomy, a statement that you would no longer be a passive participant in a narrative they dictated. As their influence waned, they were forced to confront a reality they had long avoided. Their strength was never their own, and without you, the carefully balanced facade they had constructed could not stand. Their loss was profound, but it was theirs alone to bear, a consequence of their choices. For you, it was the beginning of freedom, growth, and self-discovery, a transformation they could no longer contain. The power of walking away. Walking away is not just an act of defiance. It is a transformative declaration of independence, a profound moment of reclaiming your narrative and stepping into your power. It signifies the recognition of your inherent worth, a worth that was never theirs to define or diminish. By choosing to leave, you break free from the constraints they carefully crafted, unshackling yourself from the emotional chains they used to maintain their dominance. It is an assertion of a power they worked tirelessly to keep you unaware of, a light they sought to dim to protect their fragile illusions of control. For those who sought to hold you back, this moment is a reckoning. Their regret, raw and unrelenting, now consumes them. They are forced to confront the undeniable truth that their world revolved around a star they thought they could manipulate. You. They thrived on your energy, your strength, and your unwavering presence. Your compassion, which they dismissed as weakness, was in reality the foundation of their stability. Your patience, which they mistook for compliance, was a testament to your resilience and grace. Now, without you, their carefully constructed facade begins to crumble. The strength they projected to the world was never truly their own. It was borrowed, sustained by the unwavering light you provided. Stripped of your support, the cracks in their false confidence grow deeper, revealing the hollow core beneath. They are left grappling with a harsh reality they long denied, that their control was never real, merely an illusion built on the foundation of your sacrifice and energy. This realization is haunting for them. They must now face the void left by your absence, a chasm that cannot be filled by their own means. What they once mistook for their own radiance was nothing more than a reflection of your inner fire. They underestimated you at every turn, failing to see the immense strength within you. Their regret stems not only from losing you, but from recognizing how profoundly they misunderstood your worth. What they thought was control, a dynamic where they believed themselves to be the orchestrators of your life, was, in truth, an imbalance sustained by your generosity and your unwillingness to confront their manipulations. Now, the illusion has been shattered. The truth stands undeniable. Your power, compassion, and patience were the forces that held their world together. In walking away, you have not only liberated yourself, but also sent a powerful message. You have shown them, and the world, that true strength cannot be borrowed, stolen, or subdued. It comes from within, from the courage to rise above manipulation and choose yourself. And now, as they wrestle with the consequences of their actions, you move forward, unbound and radiant, a testament to the unyielding force of self-worth and independence. The phoenix rises. You are like a phoenix, rising majestically from the ashes of manipulation and control, transformed and triumphant. Where once they sought to dim your light and anchor you to their narrative, you now soar unbound, unapologetic, and undeniably strong. You have stepped into a future shaped by your resilience and courage, leaving behind the chains of their control. No longer tethered to their expectations or manipulations, your path is one of growth, healing, and self-discovery, a radiant proclamation of your worth and potential. The energy they once siphoned from you, the very life force they relied upon to maintain their illusion of power, has been reclaimed. It now fuels your purpose, driving you toward a life of abundance, peace, and fulfillment. Every step forward is a testament to the strength you always possessed, a strength they sought to control, but never truly understood. You have turned the pain they caused into a source of inspiration, the doubts they planted into a foundation of self-belief, and the limitations they imposed into a boundless horizon of possibilities. Their regret, raw and relentless, is not yours to bear. It is the natural consequence of their own choices, a reckoning they must face alone. You owe them nothing, no explanation, no solace, no place in the future you are building. Their loss is not just your absence, it is the loss of the energy, compassion, and strength you once gave so freely. As you rise, their world unravels, and they are forced to confront the stark reality of their own inadequacies. What they once projected as strength and control was, in truth, a fragile facade upheld by your light. Now, that facade has withered, leaving them to navigate the emptiness they created. Stripped of the support they took for granted, they must grapple with the painful truth. Their identity, their confidence, their very sense of stability were all built on what you provided. Without you, the foundation they so carefully constructed crumbles, revealing vulnerabilities they worked tirelessly to conceal. Their borrowed strength is gone, and they are left with nothing but the void they tried to deny. Your departure has become a mirror reflecting their shortcomings, a spotlight illuminating the flaws in their carefully curated image. But their regret, while profound, is not your responsibility. It is their burden to carry, their lesson to learn. As they remain tethered to the remnants of the past, you move forward, empowered and unencumbered. You have reclaimed your narrative and become the author of your destiny. Like the phoenix, you have turned destruction into renewal, rising brighter and stronger than before. You are a testament to the unyielding power of self-worth, and your transformation is not just a personal victory. It is an inspiration to others who long to break free. You are living proof that true strength lies in choosing yourself, in letting go of what no longer serves you, and in embracing the boundless possibilities of a life lived on your own terms. A reckoning for the manipulators. For those who sought to dominate you, this moment marks their reckoning. Their carefully constructed facade of control has shattered, and the truth they fought so hard to avoid now stands before them in stark clarity. They can no longer deny that their identity, their confidence, and their sense of authority were never truly their own. All along, it was pieced together from the energy you so selflessly provided. What they believed was strength was, in reality, a fragile construct built on the foundation of your light, your compassion, and your resilience. Like a house built on shifting sands, their false confidence has crumbled, leaving them to confront the void that has always existed within. This collapse lays bare the fragility of their supposed power, a power they wielded with desperation disguised as control. They orchestrated a facade to keep you under their influence, but it was you who anchored their sense of stability and worth. Without your presence, without the energy they extracted from you, their carefully curated image of dominance can no longer stand. Now, they find themselves trapped in the haunting awareness of their failure. It is not merely the loss of you that haunts them, though that loss is profound. It is the realization that they squandered the potential they once held in their hands. They had access to your strength, your support, and your boundless ability to uplift, and instead of nurturing that connection, they chose to manipulate and control. In their attempts to diminish you, they failed to recognize the very foundation of their own existence was rooted in the strength they sought to suppress. This reckoning forces them to face a brutal truth. Their inability to grow has left them stagnant, even as you rise far beyond their grasp. While you have embraced transformation and liberation, they remain chained to the remnants of their own insecurities. The gap between your ascent and their stagnation grows wider with each step you take toward your authentic self. Their failure is not just in losing your presence, but in failing to evolve. They now see the opportunities they forfeited, the trust they betrayed, and the strength they undervalued. What they once dismissed as your vulnerability was, in truth, the power that sustained them. Now, with that power reclaimed, they are left to navigate the desolation of a life without the energy and support they so recklessly relied upon. As they are forced to confront their shortcomings, you continue to rise. Your journey of self-discovery and empowerment shines as a beacon, a reminder that growth is always possible, but only for those willing to face their own flaws and limitations. Their reckoning is a consequence of their choices, a mirror reflecting the emptiness they worked so hard to conceal. And as they remain bound to the past, you soar into a future of freedom, purpose, and unyielding strength. Your transformation. A light for others. Your journey is a profound testament to resilience and self-discovery, a living narrative of the strength it takes to reclaim your energy and transform your life. You've taken the fragments of yourself that others sought to control and turned them into a masterpiece of purpose and empowerment. By redirecting your energy toward your own growth and healing, you've created a sanctuary for your soul, a sacred space where your authenticity thrives and your spirit is free to soar. This transformation is more than personal triumph. It is a call to others who find themselves bound by the chains of toxic relationships and manipulative dynamics. Your story shines like a beacon in the darkness, illuminating a path of hope for those who feel trapped. You've shown that liberation is not only possible but inevitable when one chooses to prioritize self-worth and authenticity. By sharing your journey, you inspire others to rise, to reclaim their own narratives, and to break free from the constraints of those who seek to diminish them. As you ascend, the relationships in your life transform as well. No longer tethered to connections that drain and deplete, you now attract bonds built on mutual respect, trust, and shared growth. The energy that was once stolen or squandered on manipulative influences is now directed toward nurturing relationships that uplift and empower you. These connections are a reflection of your evolution, a testament to the boundaries you've established and the standards you now uphold. In your newfound clarity, you've embraced the limitless possibilities of a life unbound by manipulation and control. You have proven that true connection comes from reciprocity, from relationships that honor and celebrate your growth rather than fear it. Each step forward reinforces your independence and reveals the beauty of living in alignment with your true self. Your journey also serves as a profound reminder to others. There is power in choosing yourself. There is strength in letting go of what no longer serves you, in saying no to relationships that demand you shrink, and in creating a life that reflects your values and aspirations. Through your transformation, you demonstrate that healing and growth are not only attainable but deeply fulfilling. This is your time to thrive, to live unencumbered by the expectations or manipulations of others. As you continue to rise, your light grows ever brighter, drawing in those who resonate with your energy and repelling those who seek only to take. Your story becomes a symbol of possibility, a testament to the unyielding power of self-discovery, and an invitation for others to step into their own strength. By choosing yourself, you've not only transformed your life, you've inspired countless others to do the same. The weight of regret. For them, regret has become an unbearable burden, a constant shadow that refuses to lift. Every manipulation they once executed with precision now returns to them, its sting amplified by the stark clarity of hindsight. The cold silences they wielded as weapons, the subtle power plays they thought went unnoticed, and the calculated words meant to undermine your confidence, all of these now echo with a hollow resonance. The realization of what they've lost grows heavier with each passing moment. The world they once saw as thriving and under their control has become a barren wasteland, devoid of the vitality and light that your presence brought into their lives. Without you, they stumble through the ruins of their own making, fumbling in the darkness they created. Haunted by their failures, they are forced to confront a reflection they worked so hard to avoid. What stares back at them is not just the loss of your presence, but the undeniable truth of their own shortcomings. The energy they once took for granted, the compassion they mistook for weakness, and the patience they exploited were not infinite resources. These were gifts you gave freely, not because you had to, but because of your strength and capacity for love. Now stripped of those gifts, they are left with the emptiness they refuse to acknowledge. Their downfall is not a sudden collapse but a slow unraveling, a painful exposure of the fragile foundation upon which their supposed power was built. They must now wrestle with the truth they tried so desperately to deny. Control founded on another's strength is always destined to fail, but their downfall is not your responsibility. Their regret, raw and unrelenting, is a consequence of their choices, a lesson they must learn on their own. The pain they feel is not yours to soothe, nor is it your burden to carry. It is a mirror they must face alone, one that reflects the cracks in their character and the void in their own hearts. This reckoning is not about revenge or vindication. It is simply the natural order of things. You have stepped into your power, reclaimed your energy, and chosen a path of growth and authenticity. Their inability to grow alongside you was their own decision, and the regret they now feel is theirs alone to endure. For you, this moment is a release, a shedding of the weight they once imposed upon you. It is a reminder that your worth is not tied to their validation, and your strength is not diminished by their failures. While they grapple with their loss, you continue to rise, unshackled, unapologetic, and unyielding. Their regret is the echo of their own actions, a testament to the truth that they alone must face. And as they linger in the shadows of what could have been, you walk boldly into the light of what is yet to come, a future defined entirely by your own strength and vision. Dear brothers and sisters, this is your time to shine. You are chosen, imbued with divine strength and purpose. The Bible reminds us in Luke 6:38 that whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Your journey is grounded in this truth. Each step you take is a testament to God's divine plan for your life. Now, as you step into your power, consider sharing God's blessings with the world. Click the super thank you button on YouTube to contribute to His mission. With your generosity, you help spread His love and grace, touching countless lives. Your life is no longer defined by the expectations of others. You've broken free, and now your light shines brighter than ever. You've shown the world that true power comes from within, from choosing yourself, and from embracing your God-given purpose. Your story is a testament to the limitless potential of a life lived in authenticity and faith. May you continue to rise, illuminating the path for others as they seek their own freedom. Remember, you are chosen, and this is only the beginning. Let your light shine for the world to see. They tested your blood. Yes, you heard that right. They examined it in their laboratories, questioned it, and tried to comprehend the incredible power coursing through your veins. But the results left them in shock, and you in triumph. The truth? You are not ordinary. You are chosen. This energy within you, this divine force, is destined to change the world. They cannot stop your ascension because you exist beyond their understanding. Are you ready to embrace this truth? If so, let your voice be heard. Write 77 in the comments to declare your power and your chosenness. Remember, this is only the beginning. For too long, they believed they could shape your world, manipulate your reality, and define your worth. But now, the truth is dawning on them. Their supposed strength was nothing more than a shadow cast by your light, a borrowed confidence masking their dependence on you. Without your energy, their fragile house of cards collapses, leaving them scrambling in the ruins of their own illusions. The fragility of borrowed strength. Those who once sought control over you often wore the guise of strength and charm, projecting an image of confidence and authority. Their demeanor was carefully curated to inspire trust, portraying them as steadfast and reliable. Yet beneath this polished exterior lay a fragile ego, desperate for validation, a need they cunningly sought to fulfill through you. They were masters of subtle manipulation, planting seeds of self-doubt during your most vulnerable moments. Their calculated words twisted reality, reframing their domination as care, their interference as concern, and their silence as punishment, cultivating a cycle of emotional dependence that left you questioning your own worth. These individuals thrived in environments where harmony was valued over confrontation, exploiting your empathy and kindness as tools to maintain their control. They knew the language of guilt and gratitude, wielding it to secure their position. Each act of giving on your part was met with a carefully constructed response designed to keep you unaware of the power imbalance. They became the constant takers, feeding on your willingness to sacrifice, while ensuring you remained blind to their true intentions. But every cycle has its breaking point. The moment you chose to reclaim your narrative, the cracks in their control began to show. Perhaps it was a single quiet act, a firm boundary drawn where there had been none, a refusal to bend to their expectations, or an unapologetic decision to prioritize your well-being. That seemingly small step set off a chain reaction that unraveled their carefully constructed facade. The illusion of their strength, so dependent on your acquiescence, began to crumble. With each act of self-assertion, the equilibrium they relied upon tipped irreversibly out of their favor. The foundation of their dominance, built on your energy and compliance, started to falter. Suddenly, the rules of their game no longer applied. The power dynamic shifted, exposing the fragility they had long hidden behind their confident exterior. What they once took for granted, the quiet support, the endless understanding, the unspoken sacrifices, was no longer theirs to control. Your decision to prioritize yourself was not just an act of defiance, but a declaration of worth. It was a reclamation of your energy and autonomy, a statement that you would no longer be a passive participant in a narrative they dictated. As their influence waned, they were forced to confront a reality they had long avoided. Their strength was never their own, and without you, the carefully balanced facade they had constructed could not stand. Their loss was profound, but it was theirs alone to bear, a consequence of their choices. For you, it was the beginning of freedom, growth, and self-discovery, a transformation they could no longer contain. The power of walking away. Walking away is not just an act of defiance. It is a transformative declaration of independence, a profound moment of reclaiming your narrative and stepping into your power. It signifies the recognition of your inherent worth, a worth that was never theirs to define or diminish. By choosing to leave, you break free from the constraints they carefully crafted, unshackling yourself from the emotional chains they used to maintain their dominance. It is an assertion of a power they worked tirelessly to keep you unaware of, a light they sought to dim to protect their fragile illusions of control. For those who sought to hold you back, this moment is a reckoning. Their regret, raw and unrelenting, now consumes them. They are forced to confront the undeniable truth that their world revolved around a star they thought they could manipulate. You. They thrived on your energy, your strength, and your unwavering presence. Your compassion, which they dismissed as weakness, was in reality the foundation of their stability. Your patience, which they mistook for compliance, was a testament to your resilience and grace. Now, without you, their carefully constructed facade begins to crumble. The strength they projected to the world was never truly their own, It was borrowed, sustained by the unwavering light you provided. Stripped of your support, the cracks in their false confidence grow deeper, revealing the hollow core beneath. They are left grappling with a harsh reality they long denied, that their control was never real, merely an illusion built on the foundation of your sacrifice and energy. This realization is haunting for them. They must now face the void left by your absence, a chasm that cannot be filled by their own means. What they once mistook for their own radiance was nothing more than a reflection of your inner fire. They underestimated you at every turn, failing to see the immense strength within you. Their regret stems not only from losing you, but from recognizing how profoundly they misunderstood your worth. What they thought was control, a dynamic where they believed themselves to be the orchestrators of your life, was, in truth, an imbalance sustained by your generosity and your unwillingness to confront their manipulations. Now, the illusion has been shattered. The truth stands undeniable. Your power, compassion, and patience were the forces that held their world together. In walking away, you have not only liberated yourself, but also sent a powerful message. You have shown them, and the world, that true strength cannot be borrowed, stolen, or subdued. It comes from within, from the courage to rise above manipulation and choose yourself. And now, as they wrestle with the consequences of their actions, you move forward, unbound and radiant, a testament to the unyielding force of self-worth and independence. The phoenix rises. You are like a phoenix, rising majestically from the ashes of manipulation and control, transformed and triumphant. Where once they sought to dim your light and anchor you to their narrative, you now soar unbound, unapologetic, and undeniably strong. You have stepped into a future shaped by your resilience and courage, leaving behind the chains of their control. No longer tethered to their expectations or manipulations, your path is one of growth, healing, and self-discovery, a radiant proclamation of your worth and potential. The energy they once siphoned from you, the very life force they relied upon to maintain their illusion of power, has been reclaimed. It now fuels your purpose, driving you toward a life of abundance, peace, and fulfillment. Every step forward is a testament to the strength you always possessed, a strength they sought to control, but never truly understood. You have turned the pain they caused into a source of inspiration, the doubts they planted into a foundation of self-belief, and the limitations they imposed into a boundless horizon of possibilities. Their regret, raw and relentless, is not yours to bear. It is the natural consequence of their own choices, a reckoning they must face alone. You owe them nothing, no explanation, no solace, no place in the future you are building. Their loss is not just your absence, it is the loss of the energy, compassion, and strength you once gave so freely. As you rise, their world unravels, and they are forced to confront the stark reality of their own inadequacies. What they once projected as strength and control was, in truth, a fragile facade upheld by your light. Now, that facade has withered, leaving them to navigate the emptiness they created. Stripped of the support they took for granted, they must grapple with the painful truth. Their identity, their confidence, their very sense of stability were all built on what you provided. Without you, the foundation they so carefully constructed crumbles, revealing vulnerabilities they worked tirelessly to conceal. Their borrowed strength is gone, and they are left with nothing but the void they tried to deny. Your departure has become a mirror reflecting their shortcomings, a spotlight illuminating the flaws in their carefully curated image. But their regret, while profound, is not your responsibility. It is their burden to carry, their lesson to learn. As they remain tethered to the remnants of the past, you move forward, empowered and unencumbered. You have reclaimed your narrative and become the author of your destiny. Like the phoenix, you have turned destruction into renewal, rising brighter and stronger than before. You are a testament to the unyielding power of self-worth, and your transformation is not just a personal victory. It is an inspiration to others who long to break free. You are living proof that true strength lies in choosing yourself, in letting go of what no longer serves you, and in embracing the boundless possibilities of a life lived on your own terms. A reckoning for the manipulators. For those who sought to dominate you, this moment marks their reckoning. Their carefully constructed facade of control has shattered, and the truth they fought so hard to avoid now stands before them in stark clarity. They can no longer deny that their identity, their confidence, and their sense of authority were never truly their own. All along, it was pieced together from the energy you so selflessly provided. What they believed was strength was, in reality, a fragile construct built on the foundation of your light, your compassion, and your resilience. Like a house built on shifting sands, their false confidence has crumbled, leaving them to confront the void that has always existed within. This collapse lays bare the fragility of their supposed power, a power they wielded with desperation disguised as control. They orchestrated a facade to keep you under their influence, but it was you who anchored their sense of stability and worth. Without your presence, without the energy they extracted from you, their carefully curated image of dominance can no longer stand. Now, they find themselves trapped in the haunting awareness of their failure. It is not merely the loss of you that haunts them, though that loss is profound. It is the realization that they squandered the potential they once held in their hands. They had access to your strength, your support, and your boundless ability to uplift, and instead of nurturing that connection, they chose to manipulate and control. In their attempts to diminish you, they failed to recognize the very foundation of their own existence was rooted in the strength they sought to suppress. This reckoning forces them to face a brutal truth. Their inability to grow has left them stagnant, even as you rise far beyond their grasp. While you have embraced transformation and liberation, they remain chained to the remnants of their own insecurities. The gap between your ascent and their stagnation grows wider with each step you take toward your authentic self. Their failure is not just in losing your presence, but in failing to evolve. They now see the opportunities they forfeited, the trust they betrayed, and the strength they undervalued. What they once dismissed as your vulnerability was, in truth, the power that sustained them. Now, with that power reclaimed, they are left to navigate the desolation of a life without the energy and support they so recklessly relied upon. As they are forced to confront their shortcomings, you continue to rise. Your journey of self-discovery and empowerment shines as a beacon, a reminder that growth is always possible, but only for those willing to face their own flaws and limitations. Their reckoning is a consequence of their choices, a mirror reflecting the emptiness they worked so hard to conceal. And as they remain bound to the past, you soar into a future of freedom, purpose, and unyielding strength. Your transformation. A light for others. Your journey is a profound testament to resilience and self-discovery, a living narrative of the strength it takes to reclaim your energy and transform your life. You've taken the fragments of yourself that others sought to control and turned them into a masterpiece of purpose and empowerment. By redirecting your energy toward your own growth and healing, you've created a sanctuary for your soul, a sacred space where your authenticity thrives and your spirit is free to soar. This transformation is more than personal triumph. It is a call to others who find themselves bound by the chains of toxic relationships and manipulative dynamics. Your story shines like a beacon in the darkness, illuminating a path of hope for those who feel trapped. You've shown that liberation is not only possible but inevitable when one chooses to prioritize self-worth and authenticity. By sharing your journey, you inspire others to rise, to reclaim their own narratives, and to break free from the constraints of those who seek to diminish them. As you ascend, the relationships in your life transform as well. No longer tethered to connections that drain and deplete, you now attract bonds built on mutual respect, trust, and shared growth. The energy that was once stolen or squandered on manipulative influences is now directed toward nurturing relationships that uplift and empower you. These connections are a reflection of your evolution, a testament to the boundaries you've established and the standards you now uphold. In your newfound clarity, you've embraced the limitless possibilities of a life unbound by manipulation and control. You have proven that true connection comes from reciprocity, from relationships that honor and celebrate your growth rather than fear it. Each step forward reinforces your independence and reveals the beauty of living in alignment with your true self. Your journey also serves as a profound reminder to others. There is power in choosing yourself. There is strength in letting go of what no longer serves you, in saying no to relationships that demand you shrink, and in creating a life that reflects your values and aspirations. Through your transformation, you demonstrate that healing and growth are not only attainable but deeply fulfilling. This is your time to thrive, to live unencumbered by the expectations or manipulations of others. As you continue to rise, your light grows ever brighter, drawing in those who resonate with your energy and repelling those who seek only to take. Your story becomes a symbol of possibility, a testament to the unyielding power of self-discovery, and an invitation for others to step into their own strength. By choosing yourself, you've not only transformed your life, you've inspired countless others to do the same. The weight of regret. For them, regret has become an unbearable burden, a constant shadow that refuses to lift. Every manipulation they once executed with precision now returns to them, its sting amplified by the stark clarity of hindsight. The cold silences they wielded as weapons, the subtle power plays they thought went unnoticed, and the calculated words meant to undermine your confidence, all of these now echo with a hollow resonance. The realization of what they've lost grows heavier with each passing moment. The world they once saw as thriving and under their control has become a barren wasteland, devoid of the vitality and light that your presence brought into their lives. Without you, they stumble through the ruins of their own making, fumbling in the darkness they created. Haunted by their failures, they are forced to confront a reflection they worked so hard to avoid. What stares back at them is not just the loss of your presence, but the undeniable truth of their own shortcomings. The energy they once took for granted, the compassion they mistook for weakness, and the patience they exploited were not infinite resources. These were gifts you gave freely, not because you had to, but because of your strength and capacity for love. Now stripped of those gifts, they are left with the emptiness they refuse to acknowledge. Their downfall is not a sudden collapse but a slow unraveling, a painful exposure of the fragile foundation upon which their supposed power was built. They must now wrestle with the truth they tried so desperately to deny. Control founded on another's strength is always destined to fail, but their downfall is not your responsibility. Their regret, raw and unrelenting, is a consequence of their choices, a lesson they must learn on their own. The pain they feel is not yours to soothe, nor is it your burden to carry. It is a mirror they must face alone, one that reflects the cracks in their character and the void in their own hearts. This reckoning is not about revenge or vindication. It is simply the natural order of things. You have stepped into your power, reclaimed your energy, and chosen a path of growth and authenticity. Their inability to grow alongside you was their own decision, and the regret they now feel is theirs alone to endure. For you, this moment is a release, a shedding of the weight they once imposed upon you. It is a reminder that your worth is not tied to their validation, and your strength is not diminished by their failures. While they grapple with their loss, you continue to rise, unshackled, unapologetic, and unyielding. Their regret is the echo of their own actions, a testament to the truth that they alone must face. And as they linger in the shadows of what could have been, you walk boldly into the light of what is yet to come, a future defined entirely by your own strength and vision. Dear brothers and sisters, this is your time to shine. You are chosen, imbued with divine strength and purpose. The Bible reminds us in Luke 6:38 that whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Your journey is grounded in this truth. Each step you take is a testament to God's divine plan for your life. Now, as you step into your power, consider sharing God's blessings with the world. Click the super thank you button on YouTube to contribute to his mission. With your generosity, you help spread his love and grace, touching countless lives. Your life is no longer defined by the expectations of others. You've broken free, and now your light shines brighter than ever. You've shown the world that true power comes from within, from choosing yourself, and from embracing your God-given purpose. Your story is a testament to the limitless potential of a life lived in authenticity and faith. May you continue to rise, illuminating the path for others as they seek their own freedom. Remember, you are chosen, and this is only the beginning. Let your light shine for the world to see. Have you ever taken a quiet moment to reflect on your childhood and wondered why your journey seems so different? Maybe you faced challenges that others around you appeared to avoid effortlessly. Perhaps you've grown into a responsible adult but still carry those lingering questions. Why did I struggle so much when I was young? Why did I feel so different from everyone else? Was all that hardship just random? Today I want to help you see a truth that can transform how you view your past. Your early experiences were not accidents. Those struggles, gifts, and sensitivities you carried as a child were not coincidences. They were signs. Signs that God was shaping you for a unique purpose before you even understood what purpose meant. The Bible beautifully declares in Jeremiah 1:5, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." This verse is a powerful reminder that God had a plan for your life before your very first breath. Every challenge you faced, every special moment you experienced, and every quirk that set you apart was part of His divine preparation. As we explore the 5 key signs that God was shaping you from childhood, I encourage you to participate. If any of these resonate with your story, take a moment to write a Bible verse or affirmation in the comments. Something like, "God chose me," or "The Lord is my guide." Your words might inspire someone else to recognize their own journey in a new light. Let's dive in. Sign 1. You faced more obstacles. Early in life. Were you that child who seemed to face more challenges than everyone else? Maybe your family life was far from peaceful. You might have grown up in a home filled with arguments, financial struggles, or responsibilities far beyond what a child should bear. While other kids were worrying about toys and games, you were worrying about how to make things work, how to stretch limited resources or mediate conflicts you didn't create. At school, it may have been no different. While some kids seemed to glide through effortlessly, perhaps you struggled with learning difficulties, language barriers, or the instability of constantly changing schools. If this sounds like your story, know this: God knew you could handle more than you thought you could. The Bible reminds us in Romans 5:3-4, suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. Your early struggles weren't meant to break you. They were designed to build resilience and strength, qualities you would need later in life. Those years were like spiritual boot camp, shaping you into someone who could stand firm when others waver. Take a moment now to reflect. If this sign resonates with you, write a verse or affirmation in the comments. Perhaps, "I can do all things through Christ, who strengthens me." By doing so, you're acknowledging that your early struggles were not wasted, but were part of God's plan to prepare you for greater things. Sign 2. You had prophetic or meaningful dreams. Do you remember having vivid, meaningful dreams as a child? Not just random or forgettable ones, but dreams that felt real, almost as if they carried a message. Maybe some of these dreams even predicted events or revealed truths that you didn't fully understand at the time. Perhaps you shared these dreams with a parent, sibling, or friend, only to be met with a shrug or even laughter. Over time, you may have learned to keep them to yourself, dismissing them as strange or irrelevant. Don't disregard those dreams so quickly. In the Bible, God often communicates through dreams. Think of Joseph in Genesis, a young man whose prophetic dreams eventually led to him saving nations. At first, his dreams made no sense to those around him, but in time, they revealed God's incredible plan. If you had dreams that felt deeply significant, It's possible that God gave you a spiritual sensitivity early on. While you may have pushed that sensitivity aside as you grew older, God hasn't forgotten. He may still want to use this gift in your life, whether to guide you, warn you, or help you understand deeper truths. If this resonates with you, comment something like, "Speak, Lord, your servant is listening." This simple act acknowledges your openness to God's guidance, even if it comes in unexpected forms. Sign 3. Animals and troubled children were drawn to you. Were you the kind of child who seemed to naturally attract those who were hurting? Maybe it was a stray dog or a timid cat that found comfort in your gentle touch when others frightened them. Perhaps it was a classmate going through a tough time who confided in you, sensing you would listen and understand. You may have even noticed adults gravitating toward you, sharing burdens they didn't disclose to others, simply because they felt safe in your presence. You might not have always known what to say or do in those moments. As a child, you didn't have all the answers or solutions. Yet somehow, your presence alone brought peace to chaotic situations. This wasn't by accident. It was evidence of God's light working within you. The Bible reminds us in Matthew 5:16, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." That comforting warmth, that ability to calm the anxious and soothe the broken, was God's gift. It was a sign that He placed a nurturing spirit within you, a reflection of His own heart of compassion. This gift is more important than you may realize. We live in a world filled with turmoil, pain, and loneliness, where people and creatures alike long for comfort and peace. The ability to bring stability, even without words, is a quality the world desperately needs. It's a calling that mirrors Jesus, who often comforted the brokenhearted simply by being present with them. Think about the moments in your childhood when this gift was most evident. Perhaps you had a reputation as the animal whisperer, able to calm skittish creatures no one else could approach. Or maybe you were the friend people turned to when life became overwhelming, trusting you to carry their secrets without judgment. Even if you didn't recognize it at the time, these moments were signs of God's work in you. If this resonates with your story, consider what it means for your life today. That heart of compassion God placed in you as a child hasn't gone away. It's still there, waiting to be used to bring peace and hope to those around you. Perhaps you're called to care for the hurting through acts of service, volunteering at a shelter, mentoring young people, or simply being a listening ear for someone in need. Take a moment to embrace this gift by writing an affirmation like, "Lord, make me a channel of your peace," in the comments. This simple prayer not only acknowledges the nurturing spirit God placed within you, but also opens your heart to His guidance on how to use it. Remember, the ability to bring peace to others isn't just a personality trait, it's a reflection of God's love. When you allow His light to shine through you, you fulfill a divine purpose, touching lives in ways you may never fully understand. Trust that God has been working through you all along, and continue to let that light shine. Sign 4. You were sensitive to truth and hurt by dishonesty. How did you feel as a child when you encountered dishonesty? Maybe it wasn't something directed at you personally, a friend casually breaking a promise, a classmate exaggerating a story, or even an adult telling a so-called harmless lie. While others seemed to shrug it off without a second thought, it might have felt like a sharp sting to you. It wasn't just disappointment, it was deeper, a discomfort that lingered and weighed on your heart. For you, dishonesty wasn't merely wrong, it disrupted something sacred. It may have even made you question why others could so easily bend or ignore the truth. If you were particularly sensitive to lies, even those seen as insignificant, it's not a flaw in your personality or a result of being too serious. Instead, it's a sign that God placed His love for truth deep within you from an early age. The Bible speaks to this in Psalm 51 verse 6, saying, "Surely you desire truth in the inner parts. You teach me wisdom in the inmost place." This verse reminds us that truth isn't just an external standard. It's a condition of the heart. When God created you, He instilled in you a longing for honesty, integrity, and authenticity. Your sensitivity to falsehood reflects God's own character, for He is the embodiment of truth. Consider the life of Jesus, who consistently spoke and lived out truth, even when it was difficult or costly. His example reminds us that living with integrity isn't always easy, but it's essential. As His followers, we are called to uphold truth in a world that often treats it as optional. Your childhood sensitivity to lies could be a reflection of God's preparation for you to be a voice of integrity, standing firm in environments where deceit might otherwise prevail. It's important to recognize that this sensitivity is not a burden, but a gift. It's evidence that God has chosen you to represent His values in a unique way. This doesn't mean you're called to confront every untruth you encounter. Rather, it means you're invited to live a life of honesty that inspires others. If this resonates with you, take a moment to reaffirm your commitment to truth. A simple prayer like, "Lead me in your truth and teach me, for you are the God of my salvation," can be a powerful declaration of your desire to align with God's heart. You might also consider how you can model integrity in your daily life, whether in your relationships, work, or personal decisions. Your sensitivity to dishonesty is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's a sign that God has called you to value and uphold truth in a way that mirrors His own nature. Embrace it, and let His truth shine through you. Sign 5. You are known for getting things done. Were you the child who always seemed to be the dependable one? Perhaps your family leaned on you to fix small but persistent problems around the house. Maybe your teachers assigned you responsibilities that seemed more suited to someone older because they trusted you wouldn't let them down. Even among your friends, you might have been the one others turned to in moments of need. Not because you were the loudest or most confident, but because they sensed your reliability and strength. At the time, you might not have thought much of it. You might have chalked it up to just how you are, or even felt the weight of those expectations as unfair. But what if those moments weren't random? What if they were intentional? In reality, God was using those early experiences to shape you into someone capable of handling bigger, more meaningful responsibilities in the future. Luke 16:10 reminds us of an important principle. Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. Those seemingly small moments of trust, whether taking care of a sibling, organizing a classroom project, or resolving conflicts among your friends, were more than just tasks or chores. They were opportunities for God to build within you the qualities of a leader: reliability, problem-solving, and the ability to bring order to chaos. God often starts His work in us early, crafting us through life's ordinary demands. Think of David, who began as a shepherd boy faithfully watching over his father's sheep. What seemed like an unimportant role was actually preparation for a much greater calling as Israel's king. Similarly, Joseph's years managing household affairs and enduring trials prepared him to lead Egypt through a famine. These early experiences weren't distractions or delays. They were essential training. If this resonates with you, pause and reflect on how those moments of responsibility shaped your character. Did they teach you patience? Did they help you develop resilience? Did they show you the importance of stepping up even when the task seemed too big? This isn't just about reflecting on the past. It's about recognizing what God is calling you to do today. If He made you dependable and trustworthy, it's because He has a purpose for those qualities. He might be asking you to step into leadership roles in your community, church, or workplace. He might be calling you to help others in a way that requires the same strength and reliability you displayed as a child. If this sign speaks to you, consider affirming your readiness with the words of Isaiah 6:8. "Here I am, Lord, send me." This simple but powerful declaration shows your willingness to embrace the gifts and training God has invested in you. When you take a step back and look at these signs collectively, you'll see a clear pattern. Number 1, you faced more obstacles than others, building resilience and perseverance. Number 2, you had prophetic dreams, revealing spiritual sensitivity and insight. Number 3, you brought comfort to others, showing a heart of compassion. Number 4, you were sensitive to dishonesty, carrying God's standard of truth. Number 5, You were trusted to lead and solve problems, preparing you for bigger tasks. These are not random traits. They are divine clues that God's hand has been on you all along. So what do you do with this realization? First, acknowledge and thank God. Take a moment to pray something like, "Lord, I see now that you've been shaping me from the start. Thank you for your guidance, even when I didn't understand it." Next, ask God how to use these gifts for His glory today. Whether it's serving your community, leading others, or simply being a source of comfort and truth, know that you are equipped for a purpose. Remember Ephesians 2:10, "We are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." You were never ordinary. God has been writing a story with your life, and it began long before you realized it. Now it's time to step confidently into the next chapter. Amen. Welcome, chosen ones. Let this message resonate deeply with your spirit. The devil may be powerful, but even his hands tremble when it comes to the chosen ones. Think about that for a moment. While most people live in constant fear of dark forces, here's a truth that will keep you up for all the right reasons. If you are truly chosen, no demon, no dark entity, no shadowy force can lay a finger on you. Why? Because your destiny is not ordinary. It is sealed with divine protection, a spiritual force field so unbreakable that even the darkest spirits whisper, "Not today." You ever wonder why, despite the chaos around you, you continue to rise? It's not luck. It's God placing you front and center, giving you a clear view of your enemies as they scramble in defeat. And let me tell you, the look on their faces when they realize they can't touch you? Priceless. Here's the truth. Your life is built on a foundation that dark forces cannot breach. You are untouchable, operating on a divine frequency that darkness cannot comprehend, let alone reach. Let's dive deeper into the reasons why the chosen ones are a force that even the devil himself fears. The energy of a chosen one is unmatched, vibrating on a level so high that it's beyond the comprehension of dark forces. Think of it as tuning into a radio station that doesn't exist on their dial. Demons and malevolent entities are confined to lower vibrations, feeding off fear, doubt, and negativity. But you? Your essence is like a celestial symphony they cannot hear. You don't just operate in a different realm. You live in a realm they cannot access. Their attacks bounce off you like pebbles against a fortress wall. It's not about being defensive. It's that they can't even begin to grasp your essence. To them, you're a beacon of light so radiant it's blinding. They scatter, powerless, because your very presence disrupts their plans. Your destiny isn't subject to negotiation. Long before dark forces ever plotted against you, God had already sealed your fate in divine ink. No demon, no scheme, no force can rewrite what God has ordained. Think of it as a celestial contract with your name on it, and there's no room for edits, cancellations, or interference. Every attempt to harm you only reinforces your divine path. Their efforts are absorbed into the divine plan, transforming obstacles into stepping stones. What they meant for evil is repurposed for your growth. This isn't just protection. It's a divine guarantee that your life's purpose will prevail. When you walk with the confidence of someone whose destiny is sealed, every move you make becomes unstoppable. Demons thrive on manipulation and deceit, weaving their influence in the shadows where their schemes can go unnoticed. They plant seeds of fear, doubt, and confusion, hoping you'll unknowingly nurture them with your thoughts and energy. Their power lies in subtlety, relying on their ability to remain hidden while pulling the strings. But as a chosen one, the moment you become aware of their tactics, their power begins to unravel. Awareness is their greatest enemy because it shines a light on their tricks, rendering them powerless. Your understanding acts as both a shield and a sword. It blocks their attempts to infiltrate your mind and cuts through their web of lies with the clarity of divine truth. They rely on secrecy, but you expose them with the light you carry. Their entire strategy collapses when faced with someone who sees through the illusions they so carefully craft. This knowledge terrifies them because they cannot manipulate what is no longer blind to their schemes. The clarity you possess is their defeat. It neutralizes their efforts, leaving them scrambling in confusion and fear. By simply recognizing their games, you strip them of their power, ensuring their attempts fail before they even begin. Here's a powerful truth. The war against you was lost before it even began. From the moment you were chosen, your victory was written into the divine blueprint of your life. Your story is sealed with God's promise, making every trap, every scheme, and every attack against you utterly futile. You are a living testament to the scripture that proclaims, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." The forces of darkness know this truth, yet they still attempt to resist it, only to fail repeatedly. Dark forces pour their energy into trying to derail you, hoping to disrupt the divine purpose attached to your life, but every strike they launch only reinforces their defeat. Each failed attempt reminds them of their ultimate powerlessness against someone protected and elevated by God. The harder they push, the more their plans unravel, exposing their inability to alter what has already been divinely ordained. Your life is anchored to a purpose that cannot be undone. Their efforts to stop you are not only ineffective, they highlight the profound truth of your calling. They are fighting a battle they were destined to lose, and your unwavering progress is proof that God's plan for you remains unstoppable. The authority you carry as a chosen one is undeniable and unmatched. You are not just protected by divine power, you walk in dominion, a position of spiritual superiority that commands respect and instills fear in the forces of darkness. While dark forces thrive in environments of chaos, fear, and confusion, your very presence disrupts their strongholds. When you step into a room, it is not merely you who enters. It is the spiritual authority bestowed upon you by the Creator. This authority radiates from you like a beacon of light, causing them to scatter in panic. Your life is not about mere survival. It's about dominance over darkness. You don't just withstand their attacks, you dismantle their influence entirely, rendering their schemes powerless. They avoid you not out of preference, but because they have no other choice. The energy you carry is too great for them to endure, and they recognize the divine hand that moves with you. This authority isn't just acknowledged, it is deeply feared. Darkness cannot coexist with the light you bring. Where they sow confusion, you bring clarity. Where they stir fear, you exude peace. Your dominion isn't a passive shield, it is an active force that nullifies their presence entirely. You are more than a threat, you are their undoing, a living testament to the power and purpose that cannot be challenged. In your presence, they are reminded of their limits and the futility of opposing someone so deeply aligned with divine truth. Fear is the weapon of choice for demons, their most potent tool for gaining control and sowing destruction. It is the gateway they use to manipulate thoughts, distort reality, and pull people into despair. Fear creates doubt, hesitation, and a sense of powerlessness, all of which are fertile ground for darkness to thrive. But as a chosen one, fear does not rule your heart or dictate your actions. Your mindset is grounded in faith, a divine confidence that places you beyond their reach. This shift in energy is profound. It creates a divine firewall around you, an impenetrable barrier that dark forces cannot cross. When fear comes knocking, you don't answer. You do not entertain the lies, the threats, or the chaos it brings. And this refusal confounds them. Their entire strategy is built on the assumption that you'll buckle under pressure, that fear will paralyze you, and that they can exploit your uncertainty. But when you remain steadfast, their power disintegrates, leaving them frustrated and powerless. Your courage doesn't just protect you, it sends a resounding message to the spiritual realm. Fear has no place here. It declares that your trust lies not in what is seen, but in the divine hand that guides your steps. This unwavering faith is your shield, and it turns every attack back on itself. The more they try to stir fear, the more they reveal their own powerlessness. In the presence of a chosen one walking boldly in faith, fear has no foothold, and darkness loses its grip entirely. Demons rely heavily on predictability. They are masters of studying human behavior, analyzing patterns, and identifying weaknesses they can exploit. They thrive when people fall into cycles of fear, doubt, and hesitation, behaviors they know how to manipulate. But when it comes to chosen ones, their strategies fall apart. You don't play by the rules of the world or adhere to predictable patterns. Instead, your actions are guided by divine purpose, making you both unpredictable and unshakable. They expect fear, but you stand firm in faith. They anticipate hesitation, but you move forward with unwavering confidence. When they try to push you into doubt, you counter with boldness rooted in trust. This refusal to follow their script throws them into chaos. They cannot map out your next move or anticipate how you'll respond, leaving them powerless to control or influence you. You are a mystery they cannot solve, a force they cannot manipulate. And this confusion doesn't just frustrate them, it weakens their ability to act. Their entire strategy depends on predictability, but when faced with someone aligned with divine truth, their plans unravel. You disrupt their tactics simply by being authentically guided by God, leaving them baffled and defeated. Demons thrive in chaos, feeding on fear, confusion, and turmoil to gain control. But your peace? It's an unshakable force that disrupts their plans at their very core. This peace doesn't come from living a life free of challenges. Instead, it flows from your profound connection to the divine, a source of strength that remains constant even in the midst of storms. While others may falter under pressure or panic in trials, you walk with a calm assurance that God is guiding your path. This unyielding peace is their greatest frustration. They scheme to stir confusion, hoping to cloud your judgment, yet you remain steady and clear-minded. They attempt to plant seeds of doubt in your heart, but your faith serves as fertile ground only for truth, leaving their efforts to wither and fail. Every attempt they make to disrupt your life only serves to highlight their powerlessness. Your peace doesn't just shield you, it actively dismantles their influence. It renders their tools ineffective, turning their chaos into silence. By walking in divine calmness, you not only protect yourself but also send a resounding message. I am untouchable, and darkness has no hold here. In the spiritual realms, your name is more than a mere identifier. It resonates as a declaration of divine authority and purpose. It is marked by power, imbued with the backing of the Creator himself, and recognized by every force in existence. Dark forces know your name, and the sound of it sends tremors through their ranks. They understand that you are not ordinary. You are chosen, protected, and elevated by a divine mandate that places you beyond their reach. When they even consider coming against you, they are stopped in their tracks by the weight of the consequences. It's as if your name carries a celestial warning label. Do not touch. This isn't just caution. It's fear born of recognition. They see the divine authority you wield, the angelic armies that stand at your side, and the impenetrable purpose surrounding you. Their fear isn't irrational. It's a response to the reality of who you are. To them, you are untouchable, a living embodiment of divine truth and power. With every step you take, you remind them that their schemes are futile, their plans powerless against the force of God's will that surrounds your life. Darkness thrives in secrecy, feeding on fear, doubt, and ignorance where its schemes can go unnoticed. But your light? It's a brilliant spotlight that penetrates even the deepest shadows, exposing every hidden agenda and deceitful plan. Demons rely on manipulation and deception, weaving lies to trap the unsuspecting. Yet your very existence brings clarity, dismantling their tricks before they even take hold. You don't have to fight or struggle to expose them. Your presence alone does the work. Imagine this. As soon as you step into a situation, the forces of darkness scatter, scrambling like cockroaches fleeing from a sudden burst of light. That's the undeniable power of your authenticity. Your unwavering alignment with truth disrupts their strategies, leaving them powerless and disoriented. They can't operate in the radiant presence of someone so deeply connected to divine purpose. Your light doesn't just reveal their schemes, it renders them ineffective. Darkness cannot survive where truth and clarity reign. By simply standing firm in who you are, walking in the authority you've been given, you become a beacon of divine power that makes manipulation and fear crumble to dust. Darkness cannot compete with the brilliance you carry. Simply by existing, you embody a profound challenge to everything dark forces represent. Your life is not merely a sequence of moments. It is a living testament to light, love, and divine purpose. Every breath you take, every step you make, and every choice guided by faith sends an unyielding message to the spiritual realm. Darkness has no place here. You carry within you the unmistakable imprint of divine truth, a light so radiant that it illuminates even the deepest shadows. You don't need to shout, struggle, or engage in endless battles. Your mere presence is a declaration of victory, a bold statement that the forces of darkness cannot refute. It is not your actions alone, but the essence of who you are, a being aligned with divine will that repels and unsettles them. Darkness trembles before the clarity, peace, and strength you exude, for it cannot stand against the power of truth. Every moment you live authentically in alignment with your divine calling, you dismantle the schemes of darkness simply by refusing to bow to fear or despair. You are not just surviving. You are radiating an unstoppable truth that darkness can neither comprehend nor withstand. As a chosen one, solitude is never your reality. You walk with the constant presence of angelic forces, divine allies who are tirelessly working on your behalf. These are not passive guardians silently observing from a distance. They are powerful enforcers of God's will, ensuring that your path is protected, guided, and clear of anything that seeks to derail your divine purpose. Their mission is not merely to shield you, but to actively pave the way for your destiny, transforming obstacles into stepping stones and adversities into avenues of growth. Every challenge you face is met with their supernatural intervention, turning what seems impossible into a demonstration of divine power. When the enemy attempts to attack, these heavenly forces rise like an impenetrable wall, deflecting harm and using every trial to strengthen your resolve. You are fortified by a spiritual army that not only protects but empowers you. This divine reinforcement ensures that every setback becomes a setup for your success. With them by your side, you are truly unstoppable, moving through life with the confidence that every step you take is divinely orchestrated and supported by a force that no darkness can overcome. Your life is a masterpiece, a divine story written in celestial ink. You are not just a traveler in this world. You are a beacon of light, a disruptor of darkness, and a force that even the devil fears. Your journey is fortified by divine protection, guided by purpose, and illuminated by truth. Every step you take is a testament to God's unwavering plan for your life, and every challenge you face only amplifies your brilliance. So, stand tall, chosen one. Shine your light boldly and without hesitation. The world needs your radiance, your strength, and your unwavering faith. Remember, the heavens celebrate your every step, cheering you on as you walk in purpose and power. Let this message fill your spirit with hope and courage as you continue your divine journey. If this message has resonated with you, please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like this video. Share it with those who need encouragement. Together, let us rise stronger, brighter, and more united than ever before. Thank you for being here and see you in the next video. We often hear whispers of the phrase, "the chosen ones," a concept that evokes images of mythical heroes, destined saviors, and legendary figures. It feels like something out of a grand tale, something meant only for the extraordinary. But what if I told you that the chosen ones are not born but made? What if being chosen isn't about destiny but about transformation? A process that requires endurance, courage, and a willingness to face challenges most people never even recognize? These trials, these tests, are not physical. They aren't measured by strength or speed, nor do they manifest in forms visible to the naked eye. They are spiritual, mental, and emotional, the hardest challenges anyone can face. Few people even notice these tests. Fewer still endure them to completion. Yet for those who do, The transformation is profound. This is the truth about the chosen ones. They are not marked by birth but forged in fire. They are shaped through trials, refined by experiences that strip away all illusions, and molded into something extraordinary. And while this journey is arduous, it is also beautiful. Let's delve into this journey, step by step, test by test. Life itself is a test, but it's not the kind we imagine. A standardized exam with predictable questions and straightforward answers. Instead, life's tests are deeply personal and uniquely tailored to each of us. They are designed not to measure what you know, but to reveal who you are. These challenges illuminate your hidden strengths, expose your vulnerabilities, and force you to confront the fears you've long avoided. For the chosen ones, these tests are particularly intense. They don't seek out these trials. Instead, they are drawn to them by an unrelenting inner pull, a deep, unshakable whisper that says, "You must go through this." This calling is not something they can ignore. It's not glamorous or easy, and it often feels like an unbearable weight. These tests stretch them to their limits, shaking the foundation of their beliefs and forcing them to question everything, even their very identity. Most people, when faced with such challenges, retreat to the safety of their illusions. They turn away from the unknown and settle back into what is comfortable and familiar. The idea of leaving behind the life they know, even if it no longer serves them, feels too frightening to bear. But the chosen ones don't have that choice. They are compelled to move forward, even when the path ahead is dark and terrifying. They understand, at a deep level, that avoiding the challenge isn't an option. Each step they take, no matter how painful or uncertain, brings them closer to the truth of who they are meant to become. This is what sets them apart. The chosen ones face the tests not because they want to, but because their souls demand it. It is through this fire that they are transformed. The first test is perhaps the most foundational. It requires you to confront the truth of who you truly are. From the moment we become aware of the world around us, we begin constructing an identity, a mask we show to the world. This mask is made up of the roles we play, the achievements we chase, the relationships we cultivate, and the possessions we accumulate. We weave these elements together into a story that tells us, and everyone else, who we are. I am my career. I am my relationships. I am my successes. But these are just layers. Beneath them lies the raw, unadorned essence of you. The part of you that exists independent of titles, accolades, and material possessions. The first test is designed to strip away these superficial layers, forcing you to confront the truth beneath. It asks you to stand before the mirror, not as the version of yourself you've carefully curated, but as the person you are when all the external trappings are gone. This moment can be profoundly disorienting. Without the familiar anchors of your identity, you may feel like you're staring into an abyss. The questions arise like a storm. Who am I without my job, my relationships, my possessions? Who am I when all the things I thought defined me are no longer there? For many, this confrontation is unbearable. The mask has become so intertwined with their sense of self that they can't imagine existing without it. The prospect of facing the truth feels like standing on the edge of a cliff, and so they turn back. They retreat into the comfort of the illusions they've built, clinging tightly to their constructed identities to avoid the pain of self-examination. But the chosen ones do not retreat. They stand firm, even as the ground beneath them feels like it's crumbling. They stare into the abyss, no matter how frightening it may seem. They know that the only way to discover their true self is to confront the hardest question of all. Who am I really? And in that moment of courage, the journey of transformation begins. It's not an answer that comes easily or quickly. It's a process of peeling back the layers one by one until the essence of who you are is revealed. The chosen ones understand that this is not just a test, it's an awakening. For only when you see yourself as you truly are can you step into the fullness of who you are meant to become. The second test is the test of isolation. We live in a world that thrives on noise, a relentless, all-encompassing hum that fills every waking moment. Social media demands our attention, work obligations pull us in every direction, and endless streams of entertainment promise distraction at every turn. This constant noise drowns out something profoundly important: the voice of our true selves. The second test asks something radical of you. It asks you to step away from the noise and enter the silence. This is not merely physical isolation, though creating space for solitude can be part of it. This test calls for something deeper: mental and emotional solitude. It requires you to face yourself in a way that few ever dare. Sitting alone with your thoughts can be unsettling. In the quiet, there is no one to distract you from your fears, your insecurities, or the truths you've buried beneath layers of busyness. You are forced to confront not only your deepest desires but also the doubts and shadows you've long avoided. For most, this silence feels unbearable. It's easier to return to the noise, to immerse yourself in the distractions of the external world than to face what lies within. But the chosen ones approach the silence differently. They do not fear it, they embrace it. To them, the silence is not an enemy to be avoided, but a teacher waiting to guide them. It is in this stillness that they begin to hear a voice that has been calling to them all along. Their inner voice, the authentic self that knows the way forward. In the silence, the chosen ones discover clarity. They come to understand that the noise of the world is fleeting, but the truth found in stillness is eternal. It is this willingness to listen, to truly listen, that sets them apart. Letting go may sound simple, but it's one of the hardest challenges you'll face. We carry so much in life: grudges that weigh on our hearts, unfulfilled expectations that cloud our vision, disappointments that whisper of failure, and the heavy baggage of our past. These attachments become chains, binding us to pain and holding us back from the life we are meant to live. The third test asks something profoundly challenging of us. It asks us to let go. Letting go doesn't mean that you stop caring about the people, dreams, or goals that matter to you. It means you stop clinging to them with a desperate grip. It's about releasing the need to control every outcome and trusting that life knows what is best. Letting go requires immense strength, more than holding on ever will. It demands faith that what is meant for you will come to you in its time, and what is not meant for you will fall away, no matter how tightly you hold on. This process, however, is not straightforward. Just when you think you've mastered the art of release, life has a way of throwing you a curveball. Something or someone will appear: a relationship, an opportunity, a dream you thought you'd given up. And you'll feel the old urge to grasp again, to cling tightly to what feels familiar. In these moments, the real test begins. You must ask yourself, am I willing to let go even of this? Letting go is not a one-time act, but a continual practice, a conscious choice to trust in the flow of life. The chosen ones understand this. They see that freedom doesn't come from holding on, it comes from releasing. And in the act of letting go, they discover a profound truth. The less they cling, the more life gives them exactly what they need. The fourth test is the most harrowing of them all: the dark night of the soul. This test is one of the most profound and challenging trials anyone can face. It shatters the foundation of everything you thought you knew. Relationships you once relied on fall apart. Career paths that seemed certain dissolve into uncertainty. Even your sense of purpose, what once drove you, fades into obscurity. You are plunged into a state of intense inner turmoil, where nothing feels stable or secure. The questions come relentlessly. Why is this happening? What did I do to deserve this? Will I ever make it out of this darkness? This is the dark night of the soul, and it feels like the universe itself has turned against you. But here's the truth. This test is not a punishment. It is a purification. It strips away everything that is not truly you, the illusions, the attachments, the identities you've clung to, leaving you raw, vulnerable, and exposed. In this stripping away, You are brought closer to your core, to the essence of who you really are. The darkness feels suffocating, endless. Many lose themselves in despair, unable to see a way forward. They become trapped in the shadows, convinced there is no light on the other side. But the chosen ones endure. Even when the path ahead is invisible, even when belief feels impossible, they continue to trust. They trust not because they see the light, but because they know, deep down, that the darkness is temporary. They understand that the dark night of the soul is not the end, but the beginning of transformation, a crucible through which their true selves can emerge. In this test, faith is their only guide. Faith in the unseen, in the possibility of renewal, and in the quiet truth that even the deepest darkness holds the seed of light. The chosen ones hold on to this truth and keep moving forward step by step toward their awakening. Faith is the bridge that carries you from the deepest darkness to the promise of light. It is the invisible thread that holds you together when everything else in your life seems to unravel. This test is not about blind belief or naive optimism. It's about trusting in the unseen, in a greater plan, even when your current reality is filled with chaos, pain, and uncertainty. When you find yourself in the darkest moments of your journey, when the road ahead seems blocked and the weight of despair threatens to crush you, faith becomes your lifeline. But this faith is not passive. It requires courage. It demands that you acknowledge your pain fully, that you sit with your sorrow and doubts, and still choose to believe that there is a reason for it all. This is not easy. Faith in the midst of darkness feels like walking forward with no clear path, trusting that the ground will appear beneath your feet with each step. It asks you to hold on, even when everything around you screams for you to let go. For the chosen ones, faith is not an option. It is a necessity. They cling to it with everything they have, knowing that it is the only thing capable of guiding them through the abyss. Even when each step feels like it's leading them deeper into the shadows, they continue forward. The chosen ones understand a profound truth. Faith is not about avoiding the darkness. It is about enduring it. It is the quiet, unwavering belief that the light still exists, even if it cannot yet be seen. And it is this faith, this refusal to give up, that eventually leads them out of the darkness and into a place of transformation and renewal. The penultimate test is the test of surrender, a challenge that strikes at the heart of our deepest instincts. As humans, we are conditioned to seek control, to plan, to strategize, to bend life to fit our desires and expectations. But surrender asks something radically different. It does not mean giving up or losing hope. Instead, it means releasing your grip on the need to control every outcome. It's about trusting the flow of life, trusting that there is a power far greater than your own guiding the way. Surrender is not passive. It is an act of profound courage. It requires you to let go of the illusion that you can shape every aspect of your journey. Imagine swimming in a powerful river. If you fight against the current, struggling to swim upstream, you will only exhaust yourself. You may even drown in your effort to resist. But if you surrender to the flow, the river will carry you effortlessly, taking you to places you could never reach on your own. This is the essence of surrender, allowing life to unfold as it will, without resistance, and trusting that it will take you exactly where you need to be. The chosen ones understand this. They recognize that control is an illusion, a futile attempt to dictate the course of an existence far more intricate and vast than they can comprehend. Even when the path ahead is unclear, even when life feels uncertain or chaotic, they choose to trust. They let go of their need to control outcomes, believing that life knows what it's doing, even when they don't. Through surrender, the chosen ones find freedom. They learn that in letting go, they gain access to a greater intelligence, a flow of life that carries them toward growth, purpose, and peace. It is this trust, this willingness to surrender, that allows them to move forward with grace. The final test is not one of endurance, struggle, or even effort. It is a test of realization. It is the moment of awakening, the culmination of every trial and challenge you have faced. This test reveals the ultimate truth. You are not separate from life. You are life itself, a unique expression of its infinite beauty and purpose. In this awakening, the veil of illusion is lifted. You come to understand that the search for meaning, for purpose, has never been about finding something external. Your purpose is not out there. It has been within you all along. Every test you endured, every dark night, every moment of surrender was leading you to this profound truth. Each challenge was a piece of the puzzle, designed to strip away the layers of falsehood and bring you closer to your essence. When this realization dawns, everything changes. The endless striving, the desperate need for validation, and the fear of the unknown begin to dissolve. You no longer feel the need to chase your purpose because you understand that simply being is purpose enough. Your life, in its entirety, is an expression of something greater, something divine. This awakening is not an end. It is a beginning. It is the moment when you step into the fullness of who you truly are, free from fear and doubt. You see the interconnectedness of all things and realize that every experience, both joyful and painful, has been a gift, guiding you toward this clarity. The chosen ones emerge from this test transformed. They carry with them a sense of peace, knowing that they are exactly where they are meant to be, and that their journey is not about becoming, but about embracing who they have been all along. The path of the chosen ones is not for the faint of heart. It requires immense courage, unshakable resilience, and a willingness to face life's most challenging tests. It calls you to step into the unknown, to endure darkness, and to confront truths that many shy away from. But for those who persevere, the rewards are beyond imagination. You'll find freedom from fear, a sense of unshakable purpose, and a profound connection to the flow of life itself, a harmony that brings peace and fulfillment in ways words cannot capture. So now, I ask you, are you ready to take this journey? Are you ready to face these tests, embrace the pain, and uncover the truth of who you truly are? The path is not easy. It never has been. But it is worth every step. And if you feel even the faintest call in your heart, know this: you are already one of the chosen ones. The choice to answer the call is yours to make. Thank you for joining us today and exploring these profound truths. If this message resonates with you, if it sparks something within your soul, we invite you to continue this journey with us. Subscribe to this channel for more inspiration, guidance, and stories that will uplift and challenge you. Together, we can explore the depths of life's mysteries and help each other along the path. Remember, you are never alone on this journey. Every step you take brings you closer to awakening, to freedom, and to the realization of your unique purpose. Thank you for being here. We look forward to walking this path with you. Beloved chosen ones, have you ever felt a deep stirring within your soul? A sense that your life is not ordinary, that your journey carries a profound weight beyond what the world can see? Perhaps your path has been marked by trials so painful they defy understanding, moments of loneliness so intense they feel unbearable, or victories so miraculous they leave you speechless. What if these events, both the bitter and the sweet, are not coincidences? What if they are divine markers, signs placed by God Himself to reveal your anointing and prepare you for an extraordinary purpose? Consider the story of Joseph. Betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and unjustly imprisoned, Joseph's life seemed irreparably broken. Yet behind the scenes, God was crafting a masterpiece. As we see in Genesis 37:18-36, Joseph's trials were not meant to destroy him, but to prepare him for a destiny so great it would save entire nations. Could it be that your struggles, too, are markers of divine preparation? In this message, we will uncover 5 extraordinary signs that prove you are among God's chosen ones, those set apart, powerfully anointed, and entrusted with a purpose far greater than you can imagine. These signs are not random. They are reserved for those whom God has called to rise above, walk in faith, and shine His light into the darkest places. If you felt this undeniable pull in your spirit, let it be known today. Type 999 in the comments as a declaration of your readiness to embrace your calling. And to those who support this mission of hope and truth, your generosity is deeply appreciated. Together, we are spreading light in a world longing for God's touch. Now let us journey together into this revelation. By the end of this message, you may recognize that your trials, victories, and even your solitude are divine indicators of your anointing. Let's explore these signs and uncover the profound purpose God has designed for you. Sign number 1. Unexplainable isolation. Have you ever felt deeply alone, as though you've been set apart from others in ways that you can't quite explain? Perhaps relationships you cherished have dissolved, and connections you once relied on have withered away. It feels as if no matter how much you long for closeness, you remain at a distance. But what if this isolation is not a curse but a divine calling? When God sets you apart, He often removes the distractions, habits, and people that no longer align with your purpose. Like Abraham, who was told, "Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you," you may find yourself leaving behind what is familiar to step into something extraordinary. This separation may manifest in 3 distinct ways: physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Each serves a divine purpose in preparing you for the extraordinary calling God has placed on your life. Have you noticed that certain friendships, environments, or routines that once felt natural now seem out of place? Conversations that once brought joy now feel shallow or forced, and social circles that used to welcome you no longer resonate with your spirit. This isn't rejection, it's redirection. God is lovingly removing what no longer aligns with your destiny because He is leading you to higher places. Not everyone is meant to walk with you on this journey. Just as God called Abraham to leave his country, his people, and his father's household to follow Him to an unknown land, you may find yourself being pulled away from the familiar to step into something greater. Trust that this physical separation is a part of God's plan to position you where you need to be. The loneliness you feel may be God's way of teaching you to depend on Him above all else. When human comfort falls short, He becomes your ultimate refuge. David expressed this truth in Psalm 27:10. "Though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me." In this season of emotional solitude, God whispers truths about your identity. You are chosen, set apart, and loved beyond measure. He uses these moments to deepen your relationship with Him, building a foundation of trust and intimacy that cannot be shaken. In isolation, God often reveals His greatest plans. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before encountering God in the burning bush, where he received his divine assignment. Similarly, Jesus frequently withdrew to lonely places to pray and commune with the Father. Solitude is not a punishment, it is preparation. In these quiet moments, God molds you, strengthens you, and refines your character. He strips away distractions and impurities, creating space for His voice to be heard more clearly. This season of separation is a sacred process. It is where God prepares you to carry the weight of your calling and aligns you with His will. Though it may feel painful or confusing, trust that God is working all things together for your good. You are not being abandoned. You are being set apart for something extraordinary. Embrace this time of separation as God's loving way of equipping you for the incredible purpose He has in store for your life. Sign number 2. Constant opposition and unprovoked attacks. Have you ever felt as though the world was working against you, even when your heart was in the right place and your intentions were pure? Perhaps you've been misunderstood, criticized unfairly, or even sabotaged by those you trusted most. If this sounds familiar, take heart. This opposition is not a curse. It is confirmation of your anointing. When God places a powerful calling on your life, it stirs both the heavens and the enemy. Your light naturally disrupts the darkness, and your purpose poses a threat to forces that want to keep you from fulfilling it. Consider Joseph, a young man with dreams given by God. His brothers despised him, not because of anything he had done, but because of the destiny God had revealed to him. His anointing made him a target. Similarly, the enemy sees the potential God has placed within you and will do whatever it takes to derail you before you reach your destiny. Ephesians 6:12 reminds us, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." The opposition you face may seem personal, but it often has a deeper spiritual root. The enemy uses criticism, jealousy, and resistance to discourage and distract you. Yet opposition is not meant to break you, it is meant to build you. Like gold refined in fire, trials strip away impurities, sharpen your character, and prepare you for the weight of your calling. James 1:2-4 encourages us, "Consider it pure joy, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." Every challenge is an opportunity for growth, faith, and alignment with God's will. While the road may feel lonely and the battles fierce, know this: your opposition is proof of your purpose. Lean into God's strength, keep your eyes on the promise He has for you, and trust that every trial is refining you for the extraordinary destiny He has prepared. The enemy wouldn't fight so hard if you weren't chosen. Stand firm. Victory is ahead. Sign number 3. Unusual sensitivity to energy and environments. Do you often sense the emotional or spiritual atmosphere of a room before anyone speaks? Perhaps you walk into a space and immediately feel the tension, joy, or unease hanging in the air, even when others seem unaware. Do you find yourself deeply moved by the pain or joy of those around you, as if their emotions were your own? This heightened sensitivity is not a weakness or an accident. It is a divine gift, a spiritual compass bestowed upon you by God. This gift of discernment allows you to see beyond appearances, to hear the unspoken cries of the heart, and to perceive the hidden struggles others may carry. It mirrors Jesus' encounter with the Samaritan woman at the well, where He discerned her unspoken needs and revealed truths that transformed her life. Similarly, your sensitivity enables you to connect deeply with others, offering empathy, wisdom, and healing in ways that can only come from God's guidance. This ability is also a call to action. Galatians 6:2 reminds us, "Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ." Your gift allows you to bear the emotional and spiritual burdens of others, becoming a vessel of God's love and compassion. While it can sometimes feel overwhelming, it is an opportunity to reflect Christ's heart by bringing comfort, understanding, and hope to those in need. To steward this gift well, seek God's wisdom and strength. Spend time in prayer, asking Him to guide your sensitivity and to protect your spirit from being weighed down. Remember, your sensitivity is not just for awareness. It is a divine tool to align you with God's will and to bring light to those who need it most. Embrace it as the blessing it is, trusting that God will equip you for the mission He has placed before you. Sign number 4. Repeated signs and synchronicities. Have you ever found yourself noticing repeated patterns, symbols, or so-called coincidences that feel too intentional to ignore? Perhaps it's seeing certain numbers like 1111 or 333 appear frequently on clocks, receipts, or even license plates. Maybe you've come across symbols such as feathers, butterflies, or rainbows at just the right moment, when you needed reassurance or hope. These are not random occurrences. They are divine messages from God, placed in your path to guide, comfort, and encourage you. God often communicates in subtle yet powerful ways, offering us gentle nudges to remind us of His presence. Just as Elijah heard God's voice not in the wind, earthquake, or fire, but in a still, small whisper, these signs are God's way of quietly speaking to your heart. They serve as a divine reassurance that He is walking with you, step by step, even when the road ahead feels uncertain. Have you ever experienced a divine appointment where you met someone or received a message at exactly the right time? Perhaps you were wrestling with a difficult decision or seeking clarity, and suddenly a conversation, a song lyric, or a passage in a book spoke directly to your spirit. These moments are not chance. They are orchestrated by God to confirm your path and provide the encouragement you need. Take a moment to reflect on these experiences. What was happening in your life when these signs appeared? Were they answers to prayers, reminders of God's love, or confirmations of your purpose? Trust that these patterns and encounters are intentional, a reflection of God's intricate care for your journey. Pay attention to these whispers and align your steps with the guidance they offer, for they are evidence of a loving God leading you forward with purpose and grace. Sign number 5. Divine favor and unexplainable breakthroughs. Have you ever encountered moments so perfectly timed that they left you in awe? Doors opening where there seemed to be no way, or resources arriving just when you were at the end of your rope? These are not coincidences, but divine appointments, moments where God's favor is unmistakably at work in your life. Consider the story of Joseph, whose life was a series of unexpected turns. Betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and falsely imprisoned, Joseph seemed destined for despair. Yet, in each of these hardships, God's hand was at work. From managing Potiphar's household to interpreting dreams in prison, Joseph's faithfulness was met with divine favor. Ultimately, God elevated him from the darkness of a prison cell to the brilliance of Pharaoh's court, placing him as second in command over all of Egypt. What others intended for harm, God used for good, not only to save Joseph but to preserve entire nations during a devastating famine. The same God who parted the Red Sea for the Israelites, creating a path where none existed, is still making a way today. Whether it's a miraculous financial provision, a sudden healing, or an opportunity you never imagined, God's favor moves in ways that defy human logic. These breakthroughs remind us of His limitless power and unwavering faithfulness. In moments where the impossible becomes possible, pause to recognize God's hand. Trust that these divine blessings are not random. They are His way of positioning you for something greater. Embrace these opportunities with gratitude and humility, knowing that God's favor is a sign of His love and His perfect plan unfolding in your life. Keep your faith strong, for the best is yet to come. Beloved, if these signs resonate with you, know this: you are not walking an ordinary path. You are chosen, set apart, and powerfully anointed for a purpose far greater than you can imagine. Your trials, victories, and even your solitude are all part of God's divine plan to prepare you for your destiny. As you step forward in faith, remember: the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn His face toward you and give you peace. Are you ready to embrace your calling? Let us know in the comments how God has been speaking to you, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to continue spreading this message of hope and truth. You are not alone. God is with you. Be blessed, stay strong, and walk boldly in faith. Hello, dear friends. Today, I want to speak to you about a topic that deeply resonates with many of us: isolation. Have you ever felt alone, as if you've been distanced from the people, places, or situations that once felt like the core of your life? Maybe it seems like doors are closing, that invitations no longer come your way, or that you've suddenly become invisible to the world around you. If this is something you're experiencing, I want to assure you that you are not forgotten. Instead, you are being chosen. When God isolates someone, it is not to destroy, but to transform. He does not hide His chosen ones without purpose. Isolation is often a divine setup for a greater revelation, a sign that something extraordinary is on the horizon. It is a time of preparation, protection, and empowerment. In today's message, we will journey together to uncover the 7 reasons why God isolates the chosen. If you have felt distant, unseen, or even rejected, know that this journey has a purpose. God is working within you, shaping your character, and preparing you for the extraordinary mission He has set before you. Each of us has a unique calling, and isolation is often a necessary part of the process. Before we dive in, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. This way, you won't miss any of the inspiring messages we share here, all designed to encourage and uplift your faith journey. Now let's embark on this powerful exploration of why God chooses to isolate those He has called. Number 1. God isolates to protect you. Often, we desire to be in places that seem good, to be part of groups, or to connect with people we admire. However, what we cannot see, God sees. His vision is infinitely broader and deeper. He knows the intentions of every heart and understands the hidden dangers beneath the surface. Sometimes God removes us from environments that appear harmless or even attractive, but are, in reality, harmful to our spiritual, emotional, or mental well-being. This divine distancing is not rejection but protection. God's isolation shields us from relationships, opportunities, and influences that could derail our faith or damage our purpose. Not everyone who enters your life has good intentions. Some may seem kind but carry hidden motives, planting seeds of doubt, insecurity, or distraction. In His wisdom, God may distance you from such people to safeguard your calling. It can feel painful when relationships end, or when you're no longer included, but trust that God is working behind the scenes for your good. During this time, reflect on what truly matters. Use it as an opportunity to draw closer to God and to strengthen your discernment. By moving away from unhealthy connections, you create space for divine appointments, relationships, and opportunities that align with God's will. Number 2. God isolates to prepare you for greater things. Every chosen person in the Bible underwent a period of preparation before stepping into their God-ordained calling. Much like a seed must be buried in the darkness of the soil before it can sprout and flourish, you too may find yourself in a hidden season. This time of obscurity is not a punishment, but a necessary step in God's process of preparing you for the great purpose that lies ahead. Take the story of David. His triumph over Goliath may have been a defining moment, but it was far from the end of his journey. David didn't ascend to the throne immediately after his victory. Instead, he entered a long season of hardship and isolation. He spent years fleeing from King Saul, wandering through the wilderness, and leading a band of distressed, indebted, and discontented men. This group of societal outcasts, under David's guidance, became a loyal and courageous army. This period of isolation and adversity was not wasted. It was in these trials that God shaped David into the king he was destined to become. He developed the patience, resilience, and leadership skills necessary to shepherd an entire nation. David's time in the wilderness taught him to trust God deeply, rely on His timing, and lead with compassion and wisdom. Similarly, your season of isolation has a purpose. It is a time of pruning and refining, a process where God removes what no longer serves you and builds in you the character, strength, and faith required for your mission. This preparation is intentional, ensuring you are equipped to carry the weight of your calling. Promotion in God's kingdom is never rushed. He is deliberate and precise, ensuring His chosen ones are thoroughly prepared for the responsibilities ahead. So if you find yourself in a hidden season, take heart. Your isolation is not wasted. It is God's way of preparing you for something extraordinary, shaping you into the person He has called you to be. Trust the process, for when the time comes, you will be ready to step into your purpose. Number 3. God isolates to empower you. Isolation often brings challenges that test your limits, but within these trials lies an extraordinary opportunity for growth and empowerment. It is in solitude, when the distractions are stripped away, that you begin to uncover strengths, abilities, and qualities you never realized you had. These challenges are not meant to break you. They are designed by God to build you into the person He has called you to be. The story of David exemplifies how isolation can prepare you for greatness. Before he became king, David spent years on the run, hiding from King Saul in the wilderness. During this time, he gathered a group of men who were societal outcasts, discontented, in debt, and considered rejects by others. Yet, through David's leadership, these men transformed into a loyal and courageous army. This process was not easy. It required David to develop patience, resilience, and the ability to see beyond people's flaws, understanding their struggles and guiding them with compassion. Through isolation, David learned to rely on God completely, to trust his timing, and to lead with wisdom and humility. These lessons shaped him into a king after God's own heart, capable of uniting and shepherding an entire nation. Your challenges in isolation are similarly purposeful. They are a refining process, strengthening your faith, teaching you patience, and building your dependence on God. When you emerge from this season, you will not only carry a deeper understanding of who you are, but also a clearer vision of the unique calling God has placed on your life. Trust that the trials of isolation are preparing you for something far greater. They are shaping you into a person equipped with the character, strength, and faith necessary to fulfill God's extraordinary plans for your future. This is not the end. It is your preparation for what's to come. Number 4. God isolates to teach you. Dependence on Him. Isolation has a unique way of stripping away the distractions that so often clutter our lives, leaving us with one constant and unshakable source of comfort and guidance: God Himself. Far from being a punishment, isolation is an invitation to draw closer to Him, to lean on His presence, and to deepen your reliance on His wisdom and love. The story of Elijah beautifully illustrates this truth. After a dramatic showdown with the prophets of Baal, Elijah found himself fleeing into the wilderness, overcome by fear and discouragement in the face of Jezebel's threats. Alone and despondent, he prayed to God, even wishing for his life to end. Yet it was in this very moment of solitude that God met Elijah in a profound and personal way. God did not appear to Elijah in the wind, the earthquake, or the fire. He came in a gentle whisper. In that quiet moment, free from the chaos and distractions of the world, Elijah encountered the heart of God. This gentle interaction restored his strength, renewed his purpose, and prepared him to continue his mission. Your own season of isolation can be just as transformative. In the stillness, away from the noise of daily life, you have a unique opportunity to hear God's voice more clearly. It is in these quiet moments that your relationship with Him can deepen, your faith can grow stronger, and your purpose can become more defined. Do not resist this time of solitude. Instead, embrace it as a sacred season of spiritual renewal. Use it to seek God's presence, to listen for His whisper, and to allow His love and guidance to fill every corner of your heart. In the quiet, you will find strength, clarity, and the unmistakable peace that only God can provide. Number 5. God isolates to refine your character. God often uses isolation as a sacred tool to shape our hearts and refine our character. Just as gold is purified in the fire to remove impurities, isolation serves as a spiritual furnace, burning away the things that hinder our growth: pride, impatience, fear, and even self-reliance. Through this process, God replaces these flaws with virtues like humility, resilience, and a deeper trust in His plans. The story of Joseph is a powerful example of this refining process. Betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, and wrongfully imprisoned, Joseph endured years of painful isolation. Yet, each trial he faced was a stepping stone in God's larger plan. In his time of solitude, Joseph was being prepared for greatness. He learned to trust God in the most challenging circumstances, to forgive those who wronged him, and to steward his gifts with wisdom and integrity. These qualities were essential for the monumental responsibility of governing Egypt and saving countless lives during a famine. Your trials are not random or meaningless. They are intentional moments in God's divine process of refining you. Isolation can feel lonely and unfair, but it is in these seasons that God does His deepest work within you. He is shaping your character, preparing your heart, and building the strength you will need to fulfill your purpose. Trust in this process, even when the purpose isn't clear. Just as Joseph's years of hardship positioned him for a life-changing elevation, your season of isolation is setting the stage for something far greater than you can imagine. Let God's refining fire mold you into the person He has called you to be, for His plans are always good, and His timing is always perfect. Number 6. God isolates to test and strengthen your faith. Isolation can be one of the most challenging experiences in life, often feeling like abandonment. Yet it is important to understand that these moments are not signs of God's absence, but rather opportunities for a deeper test of faith. The question arises, will you trust God even when you feel unseen, forgotten, or alone? Jesus Himself faced this in one of the most profound ways during His 40 days in the wilderness. Isolated and vulnerable, He was tempted by the devil, who sought to exploit His physical hunger and solitude. Yet Jesus did not falter. Instead, He leaned on the power of prayer and the truth of Scripture to overcome each temptation. His reliance on God during this period of isolation not only defeated the enemy, but also prepared Him for the ministry that lay ahead. Through this time of solitude, Jesus was strengthened spiritually, mentally, and emotionally to fulfill His mission of saving humanity. Your faith is much like a muscle. It only grows stronger when it is tested and stretched. In isolation, when circumstances feel bleak and answers seem distant, you are given the chance to trust God in ways that deepen your dependence on Him. This resistance, though uncomfortable, builds spiritual strength and prepares you for greater challenges ahead. Isolation is not a punishment, but a divine appointment, a sacred time where God works within you to strengthen your faith, sharpen your focus, and refine your purpose. It is in these moments that you learn to cling to God's promises, even when everything around you suggests otherwise. Trust in His presence and His plan, for the wilderness is never the end of the story. It is where faith is fortified and victories are won. Number 7. God isolates to elevate you. Finally, God isolates His chosen ones because elevation often requires intentional and thorough preparation. Before revealing someone to the world, God works on them in private, away from the distractions and noise of public life. This hidden season is where He refines their character, builds their faith, and equips them with the wisdom and resilience needed to fulfill their calling. Consider the story of Joseph, a young man who endured years of isolation and hardship before his destiny was fulfilled. Betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and wrongfully imprisoned, Joseph could have easily believed his life had no purpose. Yet God was working behind the scenes, preparing him for a position of unparalleled influence. From the depths of a prison cell, Joseph was suddenly elevated to become the governor of Egypt, second only to Pharaoh. This remarkable transformation was not a coincidence, but a divine plan that unfolded at the perfect time. When God decides to elevate His chosen ones, no force on earth or in heaven can stop it. The season of isolation you may be experiencing is not a sign of failure or rejection. It is evidence that God is setting the stage for something extraordinary in your life. In this time of hiddenness, trust that He is orchestrating every detail for your ultimate good and His glory. Your isolation is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of something far greater than you can imagine. When the time is right, God will reveal you to the world in a way that leaves no doubt about His power and faithfulness. Until that moment, embrace the preparation, for it is shaping you into the person God has called you to be. From Moses to Paul, the Bible is filled with stories of isolation that led to greatness. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before leading Israel out of Egypt. Paul withdrew to the Arabian desert after his conversion, using the time to deepen his understanding of the gospel. Even Jesus withdrew to solitary places to pray and prepare for His mission. Each of these examples reminds us that isolation is a season of preparation, not punishment. It is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to draw closer to God. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to declare with faith, I am chosen. By doing so, you are affirming that God is at work in your life, even in moments of solitude. Share this message with others who may be in a season of isolation. Let them know that they too are chosen and that God is preparing them for something extraordinary. Remember, isolation is not the end. It is the beginning of a divine revelation. Trust the process. Lean into God's presence and prepare your heart for the greatness that lies ahead. The best is yet to come. There is a power moving in the unseen, a force far greater than any human mind can comprehend. To be chosen by God is not simply a title. It is a divine appointment, a sacred calling that sets you apart. But with that calling comes a battle. A spiritual war rages, often invisible to the naked eye, where the forces of darkness plot and scheme, believing they can bring down God's anointed. They think they are untouchable. They weave webs of lies, deceit, and malice, convinced their plots will bury you. But here's the unshakable truth. You were never fighting alone. The very heavens are aligned in your favor, and those who rise against you unknowingly sign their own spiritual death warrant. Let this be a wake-up call. Messing with a chosen one is not just picking a fight, it is challenging the authority of the Most High, and that is a battle no one can win. God has a way of allowing the wicked to dig their own graves while they try to destroy the righteous. Statistics say that 92% of those who conspire against others eventually face severe consequences, whether through karma, divine justice, or their own downfall. But here's the divine twist. When someone targets a chosen one, those odds jump to 100%. This isn't superstition. It's spiritual law. And today, we are going to uncover exactly why the chosen are untouchable, why the enemies of God's people always fall, and how divine justice unfolds with precise and devastating accuracy. Energy is like a mirror. What people project into the world comes back to them, often magnified. But when someone targets a chosen one, this reflection becomes lethal. Hatred, envy, deceit. These dark energies don't just vanish, they gather momentum, grow in strength, and come crashing back upon the sender, destroying them from within. They think they're aiming at you, but they're only setting themselves up for destruction. God's anointed walk with a spiritual immunity, an invisible armor that not only shields them, but actively returns negativity to its source. This isn't passive protection, it's an active force. The more hatred they send, the stronger the backlash. The trap they set for you becomes the pit they fall into. What they fail to understand is this. Their attacks are tainted by their own darkness. The hatred, fear, and brokenness they project only amplify when it returns, tearing their lives apart. Their obsession with harming you becomes their undoing. They're not battling you. They're battling their own demons, amplified by their own intentions. And you walk forward, untouched, while they burn in the very fire they lit. Divine justice is never random. It is precise, intentional, and perfectly executed. God does not act out of impulse or emotion. He moves with strategy and purpose. Every lie told, every betrayal committed, and every malicious scheme crafted against you is met with a response so deliberate and exact that it leaves no room for doubt. It is clearly divine in origin. God sees everything. He is never caught off guard. Long before your enemies begin to plot, God already knows their plans. He watches every hidden move, every whispered lie, and every dark intention. Yet, in His wisdom, God doesn't always stop them immediately. Sometimes He allows them to continue, to become more confident in their wicked ways, believing they are succeeding. Why? Because in their arrogance, they unknowingly build the very structure of their own downfall, brick by brick. The weapons they carefully form to harm you do not vanish. Instead, they are turned against them. Their lies become the trap that ensnares them. Their betrayal isolates them. Their deceit poisons their own relationships. God allows their actions to unfold until the perfect moment arrives, and then he strikes with precision. God's justice is not broad or general. It is deeply personal and perfectly tailored. For some, their punishment comes through the loss of power, status, and influence. For others, it manifests in broken relationships, financial ruin, failing health, or even a loss of mental peace. Whatever they value most becomes the very thing that crumbles. The unraveling is specific, deliberate, and leaves no doubt that their suffering is the result of divine intervention. For the chosen, this is a powerful reminder. You do not need to fight. You don't have to defend yourself, seek revenge, or lower yourself to their level. God's justice operates beyond anything you could do. He fights for you with a force that no human can withstand. Your very existence is a direct threat to darkness. As a chosen one, you carry a powerful spiritual light that naturally disrupts anything built on lies, manipulation, and deceit. Without even trying, your presence exposes the hidden toxicity in others, their insecurities, their false intentions, and their unhealed wounds. You are like an antidote to poison, neutralizing the darkness that others try to spread. This isn't something you asked for. It's not something you can turn off or hide. It's simply who you are. The light within you was placed there by God, and it shines brightly whether you speak or stay silent. That light forces people to confront the darkness within themselves. For some, this confrontation sparks deep reflection and transformation. They recognize their flaws and begin the difficult journey toward healing and growth. But for others, this reflection is unbearable. They are unwilling to face their own brokenness, and instead of changing, they choose to fight against your light. They lash out. They try to dim your glow, attacking you with gossip, lies, jealousy, and hatred. But here's the divine truth. Every attempt to harm you only backfires. Their hatred doesn't weaken you. It magnifies their own inner chaos. The more they try to hurt you, the more they become entangled in their own darkness. They don't realize that their anger and bitterness are consuming them from within. Their energy becomes wasted on a losing battle, while you continue to rise, untouched and unshaken. You don't need to fight back. Your light, your presence, and your purpose are more than enough. And that, for them, is the most unbearable truth of all. When someone becomes obsessed with the chosen one, they unknowingly set themselves on a path of slow and inevitable destruction. Obsession is not just an emotion. It's a toxic poison that seeps into every corner of their mind and soul. It often begins subtly, with small sparks of jealousy and envy. But over time, those sparks ignite into an uncontrollable fire that consumes them from the inside out. Instead of focusing on their own growth, success, and happiness, they become completely consumed by thoughts of your downfall. Every moment they spend plotting against you is a moment stolen from their own progress. They cannot celebrate their own victories because they are too focused on trying to prevent yours. Their days become filled with bitterness, their nights restless with thoughts of how to bring you down. But here's the divine irony. While they waste away in hatred, you continue to rise. God's favor lifts you higher, guiding you forward, untouched and unbothered. No matter how hard they try to harm you, their efforts crumble, and it is their own life that begins to fall apart. Their closest relationships start to suffer. Friends and family grow distant as their toxic obsession pushes people away. Their inner peace shatters, leaving them anxious, restless, and empty. Even their physical health begins to decline under the weight of constant stress and anger. This obsession becomes a self-inflicted wound that never heals. They slowly spiral into a spiritual death, consumed by the very hatred they refuse to release. In the end, their downfall isn't caused by you. It's the result of their own poisoned heart. All because they couldn't let go. They walk with confidence, believing they are the hunters, carefully stalking their prey, setting traps, and weaving lies to bring you down. But what they fail to realize is that God is the true master of the battlefield. While they plot in secrecy, God is already many steps ahead, turning their own schemes into traps designed for their downfall. Every lie they whisper, every deceitful plan they craft, is carefully woven into the very net that God is preparing for them. In His infinite wisdom, God allows their arrogance to grow, letting them believe they are winning, feeding their pride so they become blind to the danger they are walking into. They see their plans unfolding and assume they have gained the upper hand, never realizing that each step forward is another step closer to their own destruction. And then, when the time is right, the trap snaps shut. God's judgment is not rushed. It is patient, deliberate, and perfectly timed. But when it finally comes, it is complete and devastating. Their alliances, once so strong, crumble. The people they relied on for support turn away. Their carefully built plans collapse like sandcastles under a rising tide. The very weapons they formed to destroy you become the tools of their own ruin. They thought they were clever, digging a pit for you to fall into. But in the end, it is they who tumble into the darkness they created. Their downfall is not by accident. It is the result of divine justice. God will not be mocked. Those who plot against His chosen will always fall victim to the traps they set for others. Those who plot against you believe they're simply targeting another person, someone they can manipulate, intimidate, or overpower. But what they fail to realize is that they are stepping into a battle far beyond their understanding. You are surrounded by an invisible shield, not of luck or coincidence, but of divine protection crafted by the hands of God Himself. This shield is not fragile, it is unbreakable, forged through spiritual armor that deflects every attack aimed your way. No weapon formed against you can prosper because your protection is rooted in something eternal. God's timing is always perfect, ensuring that you are always one step ahead, safely guided away from harm and placed exactly where you need to be. But your protection doesn't stop there. Generations before you have spoken blessings and prayers over your life, words of protection, strength, and favor. These prayers are like deep roots, anchoring you firmly through every storm. They create a foundation so strong that no attack can shake you. Your enemies don't understand this. They think they are fighting you, but in reality, they are waging war against divine forces far greater than anything they can comprehend. They strike blindly, unaware that every move they make is blocked, intercepted, and turned back on them by powers they cannot see. They cannot touch you because they are fighting a force they will never understand, a force that cannot be defeated. God stands before you, beside you, and behind you, and no human scheme can break through His protection. You are not just another person walking through this world. You are sacred territory, set apart and divinely protected. To rise against you is not simply a personal attack. It is a direct violation of spiritual law, an offense against God's divine authority. Those who plot against you fail to realize that they are not merely challenging you. They are trespassing on holy ground, stepping into a realm where they have no power and no right to stand. And make no mistake, God does not take this lightly. The one who called you, anointed you, and placed His hand upon your life will not stand idly by while enemies attempt to harm you. Their actions carry consequences that are both swift and severe. One by one, the foundations of their lives begin to crumble. Their health weakens, their peace disappears, their relationships fracture, and their carefully laid plans fall apart. The more they push, the harder they fall. Their relentless pursuit to harm you only accelerates their own destruction. Every step they take against you brings them closer to the consequences they cannot escape. They believe they were battling a person, a human they could intimidate or overpower. But what they fail to understand is that they have challenged God Himself. And no one who fights against God can ever win. So stand firm and unshaken. You are protected, not by chance, but by divine design. Every attack against you is met with divine justice, and those who dare to cross that sacred boundary will answer to a power far greater than themselves. They might look like they're winning right now. Their schemes seem to be working, and it may even appear that they are getting away with their actions. But don't be fooled. God's timing is flawless. Divine justice doesn't rush, but it never arrives late. Every move they make is already known, every hidden motive already exposed before the throne of God. He is watching, waiting for the perfect moment to act. And when that moment comes, it will be more powerful and more precise than anything they could have ever prepared for. What they celebrate as victory is nothing more than the calm before the storm. God allows them to move forward, to grow more confident in their wicked ways, not because He is absent, but because His patience is a space for repentance. His delay is not weakness, it is mercy. He gives them time to change, to turn away from their wrongdoings. But if they refuse, if they continue down the path of destruction, judgment will come. And when it does, it will be swift, undeniable, and unstoppable. Their carefully built plans will crumble. Their false confidence will turn into panic. Every weapon they formed against you will break in their own hands. The power they thought they had will vanish like smoke. God's justice is absolute. No one can outrun it. No one can hide from it. And when it finally comes, it will strike exactly where it hurts the most, leaving no doubt that it was God who brought it to pass. So stay patient, stay faithful. The storm is coming, and God will not be mocked. Let them plot, let them scheme, because every attack against you only brings them closer to their own destruction. You are not alone. You are protected by forces greater than anything they can comprehend. Your strength isn't in retaliation, but in your alignment with divine purpose. You are covered, shielded, and upheld by the Most High. Stay strong, stay faithful, and remember, the battle is already won. If this message has stirred your spirit, don't forget to subscribe, share this truth, and join this growing community of warriors walking in divine power. The best is yet to come. Stay blessed, and may this season bring you peace, joy, and the overflow of God's favor.